Hello, everyone. Welcome to our weekly live chat, and it's episode 62. And as always, welcome, Delboy. Thank you so much for coming on, as always. And yeah, everybody and all our fans, all two of them.
All four of them. I'll double that.
Anyhow, I always ask it. So, what have you been watching this week?
And I keep telling you every week, none of your bloody business. What's it to do with you?
And I
Nosy
said,
little sod.
And I said, look, we're paying you on here. We want us money's worth. Blooming heck. Get on with it, lad.
You know, like I said, as I try to get into the new norm, I do manage to get to watch a few things. There's more things, actually. I'll tell you what, there's been a bit of a drought, to be quite honest, of stuff that's been coming through. But I finally have started to get some stuff come through. I'll just turn off my background for a moment. You know, and this didn't actually come through the post, but I was going through my DVDs upstairs, funnily enough, and I found my War of the Worlds live on stage 2-disc special DVD.
Cool. Yeah.
But this did actually come through World of Books. Look, John Adams, which is that one that I told Jim Jam he needed to get.
Yeah.
And I finally got it for £1.99.
That's cheap.
And then there was a TV series that I've been telling you about that I sort of like have fond memories of it, but it wasn't particularly fantastic, and that was Dick Turpin, but it was the complete collection.
Oh yeah,
so
Richard
finally got that.
Yeah.
But here comes the good stuff. So you're watching TV, and you're flipping through the channels, and something comes on, and you go, "Oh wow, I haven't thought about that in absolutely ages," right? And you wonder to yourself, "Oh, I wonder if there's a 4K." You know what I mean? And there is, but I looked, and I've only got the DVD of it, so I looked around for a Blu-ray of it. I found a Blu-ray of it, and it was only like £3. It was from Music Magpie or something. And that's Tommy.
Oh, what a film! Love the film.
You can tell it's an old film, look, because it's got the old clip on the side.
Yeah, it's a great film, man.
Old. And I looked at it. Apparently, I think Screen Factory came out with a 4K of it about a year ago. Well, maybe even less. Might be this year, right? And apparently, the 4K is well received, but it's got no extras. Absolutely zero extras. It is just a 4K disc, and the Blu-ray has got extras.
Right? Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, so I wonder if they're saying if the picture is fantastic or not. And they weren't too complimentary about it. They said it was a bit soft focus.
Really?
So I thought to myself, do I go down the route of $29.99 for the 4K one? Or do I pay £3 for the Blu-ray one with extras?
£3 for Blu-ray.
I have 3K with extras. Yeah. So you sort of like work that out.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was watching it on telly and I was getting really into it. You know, there was Elton John, Pinball was it. Then there was the Feed Me. There's Oliver Reed.
Brilliant! Yeah.
Let's build this complex. Blah 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 blah. Get everybody in, you know, and all that sort of stuff. And I was getting really into it. And I thought, you know what? I've listened to Tommy for years and years. It was one of my first double CDs, believe it or not.
Yeah.
When CDs came out, it was one of the first double CDs I bought, right? Other than War of the Worlds and all of that, right? And I thought to myself, I haven't seen the film in ages, and I've just watched it on telly, and I was about half. Take it like this: you missed the beginning, right? And Margaret's on the cliffs near the beach or something, you know, in a dress, you know, revealing sort of dress, going like this to Tommy.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, do you know what? I really want to watch this now. So I bought it, and that arrived. And I'm looking forward to watching the first half because I saw the second half. So the rest of these are actual brand new discs. There is the Monkey, which I think a lot of people have talked about. Is it Stephen King? Is it Stephen King?
Yeah, it is. Very disappointing film.
I've heard that.
Yeah, but you who knows? You might get more out of it. I don't know.
These two, I really know sort of
Yeah.
like very little about, other than the first one is titled really weird because I remember seeing another film with a similar name. So this one's called Novocaine, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right. Steelbook Novocaine, right?
Yeah.
But I saw a Steve Martin film called Novocaine where he was a dentist.
Oh, yeah.
And it's nothing to do with that. It just says Nathan Kane can't feel pain. Jack Quaid, Novocaine.
Yeah, that's come up quite a bit. Yeah.
So I'm quite looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And then this one called Baby Girl.
Oh. I don't really
Now it's a Nicole Kidman film.
Yeah.
A high-powered CEO puts her career and family on the line when she begins a torrid affair with a much younger intern. The balance of power is constantly shifting. In writer-director Halen, I can't read, it's a bloody piece of tape over the top. Seductive and deadly comic romance with thrillingly tout personal and professional stakes. All it says at the back there is 18 strong sex. I went, Nicole Kidman, strong sex. All right.
Hey, by heck.
No, I didn't do that at all. But actually, it came up Baby Girl in a pre-order, and I knew nothing about it and just ordered it. I didn't even know Nicole Kidman was in it, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to watching that because I don't know anything about it. It'll be like a brand spanky new.
She's not a shy actress, is she, Nicole Kidman?
Oh no, because she's in that Eyes Wide Shut, weren't she? That you like.
She's straight. I love Eyes Wide Shut. It's an absolutely fantastic film.
You know,
beautiful film. Yeah. She's not shy, is she, in a lot of films? Nicole Kidman.
I tell you what, I'm sick of seeing 28 Days Later on TV. It's been shown about 8 times now in a week.
Well, it's, I suppose, because of the new film. Yeah.
That drives me nuts. I believe Marvel have got a number of TV shows that have just been released. Lionheart's one. I haven't watched any of this. I am quite looking forward to the Fantastic Four film. Now I've seen the direct trailer for it.
Yeah.
I still haven't watched too much about Superman. Only they did do a disassembly of the trailer. No, and believe it or not, it wasn't the trailer it was disassembled. It was the music in the trailer with a homage to John Williams and how the certain scenes in it where you could hear the sort of like percussion instruments, you know, like which apparently is the sound of the tanks coming in on a certain scene in this trailer. And I'm going, oh, that's quite clever. So I quite like listening to this disassembly of the music that's in the trailer rather than talking about the trailer itself. That was quite fun. You know. Other than that, it's you know, it's stuff that I might have seen, you know, sort of like on TV a little bit, you know, nothing more than that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. What might have I seen that I've not mentioned? No, it'll probably come back to me, and I don't want to take anything away from you, so I'll let you talk. Yeah. I'll let you waffle on about what Tony sent you this week. So come on, then.
Yeah, Tony's specials.
That bastard Tony. What's he sent you?
Right, I'll go before I get really carried away. There's a couple of films that I absolutely think are fantastic, but I'll just go straight in. This one, which is a Tony film, but I enjoyed it. It's Mario Bava's last film. Shock! It's what you expect. It's a supernatural story, spirit. It's good. I enjoyed it. You know, I'm not saying it's the best, but it's not the worst. It's just an enjoyable film, Matt. So I enjoyed that one. Then I watched this one. This one was sent to me by Tony. You know.
Oh, what a shock!
Horizon. It's
enjoyable. By the way, I did watch another one. Tracker. It arrived.
Oh,
my Blu-ray of Tracker arrived.
Yeah, great.
Carry on.
I think with Kevin Costner, you always feel that he's repeating or trying to expand Dances with Wolves. And I really enjoyed it, but you always get the feeling he's trying to make that film even better. It's like a project, and this is because this is the first part of a series he's looking forward to doing. Though I did hear that it may not happen, but anyhow, there's the idea I think behind this, and it's very good. I mean, he always portrays the Native American Indians really well, and you get the dialogue. You've got to have the subtitles on, and you get their side of the story, which is always good to see.
Is that Kevin Costner?
And Kevin Costner, he's
this is
good
that part one Western, isn't it?
Yeah, this is what I mean. I think I've thought I'd heard that
remember weeks back I bought the steelbook of it.
Yeah,
it said that this is part one. It's 3 hours long.
Yeah, it is. It's but to be fair, for me, I was so absorbed in it. It sailed by. It looks beautiful.
Yeah,
honestly,
told you it was quite. It was quite graphic. It was quite graphic what I actually saw when I was watching it. I got quite gross. Got quite engrossed by it.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it, but I'm a bit, if I've cancelled it, it kind of makes you think, oh, I want to know what at the end of this. You want to see the story carry on, because what's a very clever way is that he ends the film by projecting what we were going to see in the next.
If I remember rightly, at the end of the film, there's a lot of paperwork being printed and then distributed, wasn't it?
The Horizon, the place, because Horizon is the town they're building up.
That's right.
But it's really good. I enjoyed it, and I like the historical ideas. Because I'm always thinking, oh yeah, this is where they're heading west. and going through all this territory and all those treaties that they signed, the colonists going back are all being ignored totally. It's fascinating. Absolutely love that. Then now 2 films I'll talk about that I absolutely loved. I watched this one this afternoon and immediately did a review of it, and I've got to upload it. It's The Night As Eyes, and of course it's James Mason in this, and he is absolutely fantastic. I always say the great thing about James Mason as an actor is his range. He's got such a great range. He plays villains, he plays good characters, different classes of he's got the accents, and he's got everything about him. This film, I just loved it. The way it portrayed, Yorkshire Moors. We've got the Yorkshire Moors in it, so it's bound to be good, isn't it? The mystery of them on the Yorkshire Moors is absolutely fantastic. So it's kind of a sort of, it's got elements of horror in it, but it's more of a thriller, I would say. But I really liked it. It just works so well, and he's what an actor. So the film that really got me excited this week is this one. This was sent by Tony and Hayne. Now, a lot of people will think of.
I thought you were going to say Emmanuel then.
Yeah, well, we could have a go at that one.
Got you excited, did it? Yeah,
is Lahane, but it's nothing like Lahane, because I thought, it's perhaps a variation of that, but this has got Klaus Kinski in it, and he is amazing. I can just sit and watch Klaus Kinski in this kind of role. What an actor Klaus Kinski is. And this is a French film. And the story is this crime has happened involving a young girl. And he happens to come through this area at the same time on his motorbike. And they're immediately suspicious of him. And he's kind of blamed for this crime that he had nothing to do with. It's got that tradition where the locals all get together and want to administer their own justice. I always think one of my all-time favorite films is Straw Dogs, and it has that kind of atmosphere that the locals are not going to let this go. They want, the police, they're not bothered. They're going to sort it out themselves. And Klaus Kinski is fantastic as this motorbike. He's quite distinctive in this motorbike, and it builds up to a really, well, it's kind of inevitable, sad ending, really. It's a great film. It just totally engrossed me. So I did one of my reviews very quickly after it to try and express how I felt about it, because I just loved it. It was my film of the week. I just absolutely thought it was fantastic. I got excited. You see these films and you get excited by them and think, wow, this is just something special. And to me, it was special. And all those people, and which I never understand, will say, oh, what if it's in, subtitles, you have to follow it all and like that. How do you do that? You never notice them. You're so absorbed in film. It's just, they're just there. What a film. And I really recommend this. It's something that surprised me. And I really thought it was great, Klaus Kinski in this.
And another one of Tony's cast-offs.
Yeah, but it's a good one. It's an excellent one.
Sod the little sod, right? That's all I've got to say about Tony. Here he is, right? You've just talked about Horizon. I turned around and said, yeah, I've seen that as well. I really liked it, right? You know what his comment was? Couldn't get into Horizon, Ian, despite the excellent cinematography. Glad you enjoyed it. Yes, I enjoyed it as well, Tony. There's two people up here, right, talking about a film. You acknowledge one person.
Somebody's turning around now. There it is. Yes.
Thank you very much, you bastard. Right. All right. Here we are. That's my little rant over with that.
There's your rant. What's it? Oh, music. Well, it's been a nostalgia. Sometimes I get so nostalgic that I have to put one of these on, and this is the 70s album. It's just full of all the goodness and stuff that I love. Everything of the 1970s.
Are you seriously telling me that every 70s record is on that? CD?
No, it's not.
The 70s.
God, imagine we'd have a bloody massive amount. But the real essential ones, it shows you the wide range for me. I know everybody on here is probably, it's 80s. No, it's not. It's the 70s. The 70s are the greatest. Fantastic. Love the decade. It's got everything, and the music reflects that. I mean, what decade? It has all these great heavy rock, psychedelic stuff, and then ends up with punk and new wave. Oh wow! And then we've got all the soul music, and fantastic! What can you say? 70s. Anyhow, that's me done.
Yeah, sorry, hang on. I was just trying to find something. Look, there we are. I don't know if I. So there's Tracker, just to show I did get it. Look.
Yeah, brilliant.
Did I show these? I know what you did last summer.
I enjoyed that. A lot of people are not as keen on that.
And Swordfish. I can't remember.
Never seen Swordfish. But,
I'll tell you what. I was flipping through the channels again, right? And I don't normally do this. When something comes on and you go, I'm not really interested. A Norman Wisdom film. I've seen Norman Wisdom films for years, right? So I don't need to see an old Norman Wisdom film. The trouble is, it was, I think, Norman Wisdom's last film, 1970, with, what's her name? Gleason? What's her, the person Gleason. Sally Gleason, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was called Good for the Goose. It's Good for the Gander.
Yes, I've heard that one. I've probably seen it.
It's where Norman Wisdom he's a bank manager and he sort of has a midlife crisis. He goes to Southend. Southend?
Yes. Yeah.
Southend? Hey, Southend. I just thought I mentioned it. Southend, right?
Oh, God, yeah. All right.
And he dresses up in all of this sort of like disco gear and all of this sort of stuff. Falls in love with this girl that's sort of like 18, because I mean, she must have been only 20 when she was
Yeah.
filming the damn thing.
Yeah.
And it sort of like lulled me into it. Oh, I've forgotten all about this film. Yeah, it is good, but it's weird because it's a film that shouldn't work, but it does. And it's the first time probably I've seen a Norman Wisdom film where he's not playing his statutory. What does he call the character? The Gump? Is it? It's the guy with the suit on that doesn't fit, with the flat cap on.
Yeah.
He's actually sort of like a bank manager type thing.
Yeah.
And the reason I mention it is not only is I think it's the last film Normal Wisdom did when he ended his film career, 1970.
Yeah.
Next week they're showing the comedy, which I've seen. I haven't seen this in 25 years, I'm sure, 30 years or more. It's The Magnificent Seven Deadly Sins.
Oh,
right. The comedy about the seven deadly sins, anger, pride, jealousy, lust, hate, gluttony. And the one skit that I remember about it, and it's an old Bernard Cribbins, I think. Skit,
is it
right?
Bernard Cribbins?
Right?
I love Bernard.
Right. It's where two cars are going along the same patch of road.
Yeah.
And they get in the middle, and they can't get by each other. And one of them is lower class and the other one is upper class. And he says, you must move out the way because I'm upper class. And he's going, no, I ain't moving out the way. You get out the bloody way. I've got as much right to be on this road as you have, blah, blah, blah. I pay my taxes, all this. A policeman comes along, and tries to sort it out. And it's funny because AA guy, one of the the AA automated.
Right? Yeah, I remember that.
Comes along and says, "Oh, my honourable member has the right of way because I'm an AA person." The person who's got the right of way, therefore, was the lower class person. The other one was in the RAC. He thought it was the Rolls Royce. He thought it was the Rolls Royce guy. It weren't. And so Bernard Cribbins' character was replaced by Alfie Bass in the film.
Oh, yeah, I remember him, Bass. I'm not a fan, actually, of Alfie Bass.
Yeah, and to be quite honest, I'm looking forward to seeing it because I haven't seen it in years.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones where it's all about the sins, gluttony, and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm quite looking forward to it because, I mean, the last time I saw a film about the sins, it was Seven, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah,
And that's more a crime drama thing with what's in the box. Everybody knows, don't they? Everybody knows what's in the box, you stupid bastard. We all know what's in the box. That's why we were all disappointed when the Steel Book came out last year because we all wanted a box, didn't we? Wanted to show what was in the box, and you took it away from us again, you bastard. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to that. Because I haven't seen some of these sort of like golden oldie 70s, 60s comedies for a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to that one. Anyway, fire away.
Let's get on with first comment up is Si. Evening all. I hope Mrs. Dell is doing well.
Si, thank you so much. And thank you for acknowledging Mrs. Dell. Mrs. Dell is perfectly well. She's doing okay. I made her a tea a couple of hours ago. My sister will be here shortly, and I'll have to help her get my mum into bed, and then I'll be all with you again talking about films. And I always mention you, Si, to her, and she's still disappointed that you're not a bit older because she'd have dated you.
Right now, here's a comment.
And you're up north.
This one you might appreciate. I know you're a fan. He said, Si says, I've just got back from the pictures, went to see F1. I highly recommend it. You need to watch it on the biggest screen you can. It's made for the IMAX.
I should think it is I mean, obviously, if you've ever seen Formula One back in the 70s and that, where it was all on our tellies. And then Sky came along, and then, of course, we've had HD. Then we've got 4K Formula One. Now IMAX. You know what I mean? I really want to know if it's a good film because I want to go and see that. I really do. It's Brad Pitt, isn't it? Brad Pitt in the Formula One film, F1. And most Formula One films are usually dreadful. I mean, I think we all know that Sylvester Stallone Formula One type thing that came out in the year 2000. I think I saw that on video CD. It was awful.
Mm.
And of course, we've seen Elvis in a racing sort of like film, haven't we? With Anne Margaret, we've seen, we've seen a number of racing ones, and they haven't turned out particularly great. So yeah, maybe this one will be good. And I mean, I like the James Hunt one, the one that came out, which was done by Ron Howard. I think that was.
I remember my dad taking us to. I know I'm not a big fan of Formula One. My dad took us to see that film called Grand Prix.
Yeah,
it must have been
in the 60s, isn't it? Late 60s.
James Garner, I think, and
yeah, it's late 60s, and it's and basically it is about a racing circuit.
I can't remember much about it, to be honest. But,
yeah, I didn't have much of a story.
I don't remember it. I suppose I wasn't interested, but my dad was all like, "Oh yeah, fantastic," but I never got into it. Right, we have got here now Jim saying,
Jim.
"Evening, folks. Hello, Jim. Hello," and he says, "This is a big talking point, I think." Saw 28 years later on Saturday. Well worth it. Very well done. That's good to see a positive review of that.
Well, yeah, because the thing that upset me last week was somebody said it's part of a trilogy. I went, "Oh, you're joking me. They're not making a trilogy out of this 28 years later, surely."
That's the thing they do.
Apparently,
nowadays.
there's a few stylistic choices. Apparently, it's filmed a lot on iPhones.
Yeah,
apparently.
I saw that. Yeah.
I don't know whether that's good or bad. I'll have to.
Yeah, I don't. Can you tell the difference? Or I don't.
Well,
know.
yeah.
Interesting. And Jamie says, "Good evening, everyone." Hello, Jamie. Thank you. And,
Jamie, you get.
Yeah. And then Si says, "I watched 28 years later last week too. I thought it was really good. I love the Geordie characters and accents being done properly. Also, it made me cry at a certain point too." Well, if a film does that, that is quite a thing for a film to do.
Oh yeah, it's got Geordies in it, hasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, but
and he's gonna bounce short. He's bound sure to like it. Do you want to film in my hometown? Yeah, you come over here. I'll enjoy it as well.
All I've heard though about it is the weird. Well, I'd like to mention his name, but the bloke in a tracksuit and blonde hair.
Oh Christ!
That one gets mentioned a lot apparently in the film, but they say in context of it, they wouldn't have known what the crimes he did 28 years ago. So I suppose that's a justification for him being in the gang or whatever it is he's in there. But it's interesting perspective, I suppose. And then we've got Tony saying, "Evening, Ian and Dale and chat. I have the Jeff Wayne stage version of War of the Worlds DVD, Dale. There you are."
Yeah, like I said, I went upstairs. I've had it for ages. I've got the Blu-ray one. It's just that I went upstairs and it was there, and it's obviously it's the earlier production, with Richard Burton. Obviously, there's been Blu-ray ones, with Liam Neeson and all of that sort of stuff. It was nice to put it on and reminisce that, because I actually went to see the Richard Burton one.
Yeah, wow. You've seen Richard Burton live. Wow.
I saw the Richard Burton one where it was a hologram of his head.
Wow.
It was a hologram of his head. Liam Neeson.
Oh, it was a hologram.
Oh. But the Richard Burton one brought back on, the Moody Blues, Justin Hayward, all that sort of stuff, right? Over the years, they've replaced, many characters. You've had Take That, or people from Take That, and all that. Gary Barlow and stuff.
Oh dear!
The earlier you go back, the more it was closer to the original.
Yeah, But I mean,
But,
Richard Burton has got the voice.
Muckman has done the ultimate, though. He's been to
Yeah,
the VR experience one. He's been to the one where
yeah,
you put the VR headset on.
yeah,
I haven't done that.
yeah,
I'd love to do that. Oh my
yeah.
god. Yeah, so he's a bastard and done that. He had to be
Everybody
one
is
up.
a fan.
He had
Here
to
we
be
are.
one up, didn't he? But, so
Yeah.
up yours, you little shit.
Jeremy says, "Howdy, Tony." And Si says, "The thing about the ending, Muckman, they don't have a clue about his crimes. He's probably a hero." Oh yeah, that's about the yeah JS. Yeah. Jim says, "Shame almost edges it as my favorite of the three so far. Wasn't aware until Saturday that the next one was shot back to back, being released in January 2026, with another one to follow a year after, I think." Oh, yeah. And Jamie says, "I know that, but why take the film down that route and bring him back into our consciousness?" Interesting.
But I suppose the other way of looking at it is, why write it out when it would have actually have been in that? That's the same as taking away writing a game set in the 16th or 17th century and taking away slavery as cargo.
Yeah,
you don't do things like that. But I agree. Why bring him back? You got to remember that we've had that document, not that sort of like drama thing that Paul Coogan did, where he was
amazing.
And that was an amazing drama.
Yeah, it was.
And
Wow.
I can't talk to people if they turn around and said they should never have made it.
No,
we don't want to talk about this anymore.
Brilliant drama.
Sometimes you've got to talk and tackle the difficult subject.
Yeah, exactly. And it was done in a really good way. It wasn't exploitative at all. It was very well done. And Tony says, "How's about that, guys and girls, Jamie? Poor old Jimmy. Good evening." Yeah. Also, 28 years later, it's my second favorite film of the year so far, behind Sinners in first.
Wow. Well, I think a lot of us have now seen Sinners, and I must admit, Sinners is a great film.
Sinners, yeah.
If science turned around and said that's the second favorite behind Sinners, then I'm intrigued, because Sinners to me is he's up there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I've just ordered my Companion, which I consider as one of my favorite films of the year so far. I'm expecting that come in the next few days. I can't wait to rewatch it all again and again. And then Jim says, now then. Yeah.
Oh, God, we're going to get out all night, are we?
Yeah. I only gave 28 years later 3 out of 5. Well, some people say that's not too bad. That's not bad score, is it? Then it's my least favorite of the trilogy. Wow.
Well, look, if it's the least favorite of the trilogy, but it still gets a middling score of 3 out of 5, then it's still a pretty high watermark.
Yeah,
surely.
He says.
I mean, the others must be 4 or a
28 5. 28 weeks later is my favorite. Oh, great, yeah. And Si says it's my favorite of the trilogy. 8 out of 10 for me. There you are. 28 years later, that is, still is a hero site. Jim, fantastic for new film. Lot of woke, jiggery pokery. I like that, jiggery pokery. As per most recent Marvels, apparently.
You know what? I'm going to agree and disagree with that, Jim, and I'll explain why. I think Marvel have put a lot of thought into this Fantastic Four film. They've purposely made it in a totally different universe to all the films that we've seen so far. Right? It's totally old. It's not the film. It's not the universe where the Avengers are, where Spider-Man are, or where the X-Men. Right? It's a totally different universe, which is why the Silver Surfer is a woman, and all of this sort of stuff. Right? Because at the end of this film, they come over to our universe. And then they are the Fantastic Four as we know them. Do you see what I mean? So if it is woke jiggery pokery, you've got the woke out the way with this one film, haven't you?
Mm.
Right. So maybe they're just tying up a loose end that they've got to tie up, and it was the only way they could think about doing it. What I have learned is that they've already commissioned the second film without the first being shown, which probably shows quite a lot of clout on what they think about this film.
Very confident.
And I believe they have done a broadcast of the film to a select, and it got good marks.
Yeah.
But again, it's down that route of I'm just sick of Marvel, I'm just sick of DC. It doesn't matter what you do, I'm bored of them. That type of thing, and they've got that battle ahead of them. And to be quite honest, I'm excited over Superman and I'm excited over Fantastic Four. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which is good. Yeah.
Like I say, for all those people that are turning around and saying the Silver Surfer has always been a bloke, I look at it like this. It's fantasy, right? The Silver Surfer has always been a bloke. Yeah, that's quite right in the comics. But this is another alternate universe. It's one of those what ifs. A what if? What if somebody else? What if somebody else was bitten by the radioactive spider and it wasn't Peter Parker?
Yeah.
What if a girl picked up Thor's hammer? What if Captain America was black Hispanic in the?
It's
war?
endless. You could do all sorts with it.
It is that done on celluloid, and then once you've got that out of the way, you're back to the normal. Way of things are. And Norinrad will return being a bloke.
Yeah.
Galactus will be with the same Herald, Silver Surfer, only it will be the Marvel Universe Norinrad that we've always known. Which is
I think people want a self-contained film. They want to be able to watch the film and that's it. They don't want these teasers for next film in. They don't want that. They just want the film. Self-contained. Yeah, that's what it should be.
So to me, I'm in agreement. I mean, I'm a big Marvel fan, and even I can get to the point where I think it's a saturated market.
Yeah,
but I'm still in that January mode where I turned around and said I am not going to poo-poo something until I've seen it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to badmouth it. I'm not going to put negativity on something just because we're oversaturated with this crap.
Yeah,
right? It might be the gem in all of that crap that you've seen. It might be the hidden gem that makes me go, "Oh wow, they're back on track."
Yeah, well, there is positive stuff coming. I've not heard any bad vibes about it, so it's been positive. It's a change.
You know, all people with Muckman in the title are bastards. You know that, don't you?
And Jamie says, "Why were all the infected naked? Surely some should have been clothed. The chlorine fat infected annoyed the hell out of me. Oh God, he was annoyed, was Jamie, with these people."
By the way, I'm just going to check on my mum. I'm just going to check on my mum. Won't be a minute.
Right, we'll carry on. And we've got Danny saying hi. How are you all doing? I'm good. Hate this heat. Oh God, blow my neck. Yeah, I'm not keen. But I'm a typical complainer. I don't like it really cold, and I don't like it hot. I just want autumn all year round, or spring. That's what I want. I don't want winter or summer. Let's just skip them. Just move forward. But there's no point in complaining about it. You could, we're very British. We love to complain about things. And the weather is always, we complain. Oh, it's too hot. It's too cold. But I'm here and saying, bloody hell, it's too hot. But that's what we do. But it does get rather repetitive, doesn't it? But it's a way we communicate. We just talk about the weather. It's a great thing. We can have a good moan. Yeah. Tom says, cheers for the shout out, Del. Always greatly appreciated. Yeah, I know he does it every week. It's part of he has to get it out of his system. You know what he's like. Yeah, I know. He's a southern softy. That's what it is. You know, they can't take it, can they? These southern softies like him. You know, it's just, it's what you expect, isn't it? Well, Tony, he hadn't been found out yet 28 years ago. Exactly. That's the premise there. Nobody knew about what he was like. God. Yeah. I mean, I remember when he died, blooming heck, all the massive funeral he had, and ashamed to say it was in Leeds as well, and all that stuff. And then that documentary, was it a few days later? It just totally changed everything. And that was it, wasn't it? Yeah, we found out what a monster he was. And then Sai saying, hi, Danny, mate. I Cyrus and McMahon movies. Hi, Danny. And then watched Anonymous Animals last night. Pretty weird. I've never heard of that, but it's an interesting title, Anonymous Animals. I've no idea what it's about. Is animals referring to animals, or is it humans, or whatever? I don't know. And then Tony says, hi, Danny. And then James says, I went to see Dangerous Animals, but the only showing near me was at 11:45 p.m. It's a bit late when you have to get up, I suppose, for work. It is a bit late. Yeah. Yes, I get that side. I wonder if the creators realised they would be creating controversy. Maybe that's the idea. Yeah, I think they must have thought, oh, this is a brilliant way of doing it. That's why they do it. It becomes a talking point. If something becomes a talking point, then it generates interest, and people think, oh God, I must go and see this. I think it does. So many films are pushed in many ways by controversy they have been in the past, and they get that out, and it's marketing. People say, I've got to see this, and there they are. I mean, I don't know box office figures on it, but I won't be surprised if it's doing quite well. I'm sure it is. And then another thing that annoyed me with 28 years later was it felt almost like a fantasy film with strange artistic choices. Didn't feel grounded in reality like the other two. That's an interesting point. I mean, I've not seen this film. I don't think I've seen the. I think I might only have seen the first one, actually. Yeah, I mean, I must have. It'd be interesting to check them out. But that's an interesting point. Change of tone. It can make a big difference in a film. And Tony says, couldn't get into Horizon, Ian, despite the excellent cinematography. Glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, I did. I know what Costner's like, but I felt he built up that idea about the Native Americans, and I felt it very strongly. You know, the West opening up and, you know, taking over their land, and then copying the practices. Like, you know, there's a scene which I've seen before, where the white people's doing the scalping as well. I thought it was, you know, as I said, it's like he's developing the same themes again, like with Dances with Wolves. But I must admit, I enjoyed it. You know, I just took it as it was, and it does look good, as you say. It's the cinematography is absolutely fantastic, and I mean, Dances with Wolves is one of my favorite films as well, westerns, I would say. So I quite enjoyed that side, seeing, the Native American Indians. I really enjoyed that.
My sister said, "Sod off, I ain't ready for you." It's nice that I have this sort of relationship with my sister. It's great. Even my sister says "sod off" to me.
Oh, right, nice.
It's nice to be loved. Nice to be loved.
Danny says, "I, Tony Hawk," and then
Danny, a person that actually likes me.
Yeah,
Danny. I like Danny. He's nice. He likes me.
Yeah.
You watch in a minute. He's going to turn around and say, "I don't like that bastard." Down the bottom in a minute.
Now, Tony, this is interesting. He says he quite enjoyed Alien, but I didn't think I'd watch it again. Oh, yeah, I can't wait to watch it again. And yeah, plug.
There's another one on its
review.
There's another one on its way to you, then, isn't it?
My review will hopefully get people wanting to watch it.
I don't think I'll watch it again, so it'll be in the post. It'll be in the post, and it'll be with you on Friday.
Don't worry. Great film. Yeah, honest. Yeah.
Oh, we must say hello to Through the Lens. He's come through. Look. Hello, Through the Lens. You little sod, you bastard. Hope you're all right.
Aren't you so welcoming to everybody? Such a welcome.
I said hello to him in his live stream yesterday. Yeah. I was there. I was the first one going, "I hope you're all right. Sorry that I've got to look after my mum. And I hope everything's okay with you." And then he sort of went, "Yeah, thanks, Dale," and then carried on talking like I weren't even in existence. So
dear.
Told you then. Nobody acknowledges my existence anymore. I'm not on the chat.
Get the violins out.
I am only here, and that's why I've got this little violin, the smallest violin in the world.
Everybody goes, "Oh, oh dear." Oh, it's a sad story, isn't it? Very sad. And then Jim says, "Poor Dell." Oh, dear.
I'll tell you what, it is poor Dell. Have you seen the price of steel books these days?
Yeah. He used to be rich, Dell. He used to buy every steel book going. I don't think you do now. Yeah. Mind you, I say that, but who bought the blooming Star Trek section 31? I know you said it was cheap, but you bloody bought it.
It was honestly, it was about £2 something.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay that for it. God.
Listen, it was £2.
It was rubbish film. What a rubbish film.
It is, but it fills that gap.
Your collection.
I can't have a gap.
Terrible, isn't it? Right. And Tony says, "Sorry, I never heard you say that, Del. Can't type and listen." No, you are. It says, "I watched my copy of Tracker this week, enjoyed it, but highlight for me was the stunning New Zealand scenery." Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. The scenery is great.
I tell you what, I will say this: not a lot of people, including people. Well, and this doesn't imply that I'm talking about Through the Lens or Muckman, because those two people actually do talk about cinematography, right? But if you ever go on the chat circuit and they go, "Oh yeah, I love the horror and I love the gore and I love all of that sort of stuff, and the music was all great and everything and all of that," they don't talk about the visuals. Too much. They don't. I mean, the thing about Dirty Harry, when I talk about Dirty Harry, is that San Francisco is a character in itself. When you talk about Star Trek, the Enterprise is a character itself. Mm-hmm. We are talking where the camera is pointing is as much a character and part of the film, and you need to be immersed. Which is why, certain films may sort of like drop a bollock or two, maybe Alien Romulus, where we talk about fan service and all of this sort of stuff. actually, it's not a bad visual. It's probably a bad reference, really, saying it for that particular film. But to me, it's why I got heavily into Ridley Scott films, because I remember seeing The Duelists, and I remember seeing Alien, and then I remember seeing Blade Runner, and then I remember seeing Thelma and Louise and 1492, and the thing that you think about with all those films is, look at those wide expanse shots. Wow.
Yeah.
And yet, in a film like Alien, right, it's wide expanse shots, but my God, is it claustrophobic? Now, how do you do that? How do you make a wide expanse shot that feels so cramped?
Yeah.
This is where I'm going. It's about plot. And if you ever read a comic, right, the panels is the plot. Right, that's the drawings. You're reading a story, but it's plotted by the artist, who's visually in his head, sort of like drawing it what your head is probably imagining. Right?
Yeah.
It's in other words, it's plotting. So in other words, the artist is the cinematography, and a lot of people in the 90s and the early 2000s bought comics because they thought the artwork was going to make them rich when it comes to their pensions later on in life.
Yeah.
These hot artists come through.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a picture behind me now. I mean, that's a Spider-Man picture there. I mean, it's a gorgeous looking picture. I mean, flipping heck, that's creepy as hell, isn't it? That's Spider-Man. And what I'm trying to say is it's that sort of thing that encapsulates me. That looks nothing like what Steve Ditko would draw in the 60s. If you'd have drawn that in the 60s, that your parents would take it off of you saying, "You aren't a creepy thing like that, you sick bastard. What are you reading that for? You are not having that." And if you stuck that as a poster upon your wall, you'd be called a sick sadistic. Why can't you have a poster of some woman with scratching her ass from Wimbledon or something? You got a picture of cobwebs and some guy with red, white, blue lines all over.
Or what about a nice picture like Jack Nicholson going, "Here's Johnny," with his head?
Oh, yeah.
What a lovely picture that is.
Yeah. That's not got me wound. That's not got me thinking you're a bit of a psychopath, has it? A picture of The Shining upon your wall. Yeah. Other people have got pictures of rabbits from Watership Down, and you've got a picture of some axe coming through a door with The Shining written on it.
Yeah, it says a lot about you.
How old are you? 8 years old. You've got a picture of the shot. What's that all about? How old are you? 8.
And why are you pulling those butterfly wings off? Butterfly. And dissecting.
Yeah. Why are you pulling the legs off? Why are you pulling the legs off of Daddy Longlegs? What was that about?
What's going on here?
What do you mean you're going to eat them? What's your name? Renfield?
Yeah. I think Mum and Dad ought to lock their door at night. I think, yes, I would do that.
I think if that had happened, do you know what my mum would have said? I think you'll be off school tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, because I'm sending you to a special school.
A special school.
Just for you.
Yeah. Oh, dear. Anyhow, I've just got a doctor you might like to talk to. He's a special kind of doctor.
Yeah.
He likes kids
like you, yeah.
Yeah. He's got all these pictures that he likes to show you and see what your reaction is.
Yeah, he likes ink and folded paper. I'm going to show you quite a few of those.
Yeah. And then so that makes the film for me, Jamie. That's about the scenery. Yeah. Who's this Tony fella that Delboy keeps calling a bastard? And then Tony says, "No,
it's Tony York. He's a right bastard." I mean, I'll do
that. And then Tony says, Jamie, have you seen River Queen with Keith Sutherland and Samantha Morton, set in New Zealand in the 1860s during the Maori Wars? Some great scenery in that. Now, that's just saying the Maori Wars interests me straight away because I've never heard of them. It sounds like something pretty interesting. So you never imagine, you always think of, you know, Aborigines in Australia and the sort of problems there, but Maoris, I don't know much about Maoris. And
No.
the fact that there were Maori wars is interesting. Have you seen them greetings that the Maoris give, you know, visitors and that? They give these special greetings, and they're quite frightening. They're like warrior things. So could you imagine being confronted by loads of these Maoris doing all that kind of stuff? Yet you'd be going in another direction.
It's funny as well, actually, because New Zealand, lovely place. Australia, lovely place. But when you're at school, because you only sort of had books to go on, every when you saw a film with Jenny Agutter, you know, that walkabout
film,
right, you just thought that's Australia, and everything in Australia looks like that. Right. Huge deserts, right, dry as anything. They've got no concrete on the roads. It's all dust and stuff.
I mean, my impression when I looked at Australia was, well, where are all the cities? Because there isn't that many cities down, is there? Why aren't there all these cities? Did they just not bother wanting to build anymore? Couldn't they be bothered? You know, everybody.
It didn't help either that when you were watching telly as a kiddie, and you were watching things like Daktari or something.
Oh,
right?
Daktari.
Right. Everything looked like, well, they must be like 80 years behind us or something, because everything's a wooden. Everything's a wooden hut with a well. You know, you got your water from a well or something in the front of your garden, right?
Yeah.
And here we are, right, going to the greengrocers, right, to get apples and stuff, and that. We just kept thinking, well, they must be getting them out of the trees or something over there. You know, they just went,
we did,
didn't bother buying them. They just took them out the trees themselves or something. You know? But then you realise just how beautiful New Zealand and Australia actually is.
Well, I think New Zealand had the biggest thing with obviously the Lord of the Rings. It just opened everything up with people seeing the tourist industry like that, wasn't it?
I mean, I didn't want to go to Australia because I thought everywhere you sat down, some black widow spider was going to bite you on your ass.
Nice,
because that's all I knew about Australia. Sit on the toilet, get bitten by some poisonous spider. Right, and that's just the morning, and then in the afternoon you might get a rattler come along, right? And then and I'm just going, no, I don't think I want to visit this place.
I bet you thought, like many people, that there's no snow in Australia, but there are places that have had snow. Yeah, it's not, you know, totally like we imagine it to be. Right, and Tony says. Sorry, Jamie says, no, Tony, not heard of River Queen.
But hang on, let's get the calendar out. Muckman's talked about a film he ain't heard of. That's a calendar moment. He knows every film, doesn't he, Muckman? He's good.
He does have a great knowledge, Jamie.
He's got the Hong Kong Book of Movies in his head.
And then he says he'll have a look, so he must have been having a look. And it's only on DVD in the UK. I got a foreign Blu-ray. I think it's German.
Most of them come from Germany.
Everyone does Germany.
If you haven't got it on Blu-ray in this country, it came from Germany.
Yeah. It's directed by Vincent Ward, who got binned from Alien 3 directorial duties. Oh, there they are. Nice bit of information, yeah. And then we've got there's some bad reviews of River Queen on Letterboxd. People saying it was boring. Oh, that would make me think, I want to watch it. because often when
I
people
like
say
it
it's
now.
boring,
I like it now.
yeah, I might like it. Yeah. And then Paul Patrick says, "Have either of you seen Ballerina? And if so, would you recommend it?" I've not seen it, but I would definitely like to watch it. Definitely, I'm looking forward to watching it. I know it's in the John Wick viewing universe. It sounds pretty good to me.
Well, I've ordered the steel book of it.
Yeah,
I've
heard only good things about it.
word of mouth says that
People say it's good.
It's a cracking split off in the same
Yeah,
universe type thing. You know?
And he does make an appearance, but it isn't really his film, is it? Keanu Reeves' film, but he's in it. I know he is.
I keep wondering though, is it a bit like Nikita or something like that? You know,
I don't know. We'll find out. And then Tony says, The Convert with Guy Pearce, another great actor, is another good one. Set in 1830s New Zealand. I enjoyed River Queen. It's not the fastest moving film, I agree. But if you're interested in that period of history, it helps. Sounds interesting to me. Definitely. Gives a thumbs up there. And then we've got Jamie saying, I rewatched The Matrix, Paris, Texas, and The Fisher King this week. Needed to watch something decent after the disappointment of 28 years later. Paris, Texas is a good film. I've not. It's a film I should have really, because I've seen it quite a few times. I did back in the day on the big screen. Absolutely loved Paris, Texas.
Well, I remember all of the hoo-ha about the Fisher King.
Fisher King.
I remember that there was a one whole 25-minute documentary on how they did the scene with the dancing in the railway station.
Yeah,
the Grand Central Station, wasn't it? Where they all choreographed it. It took an absolute age for them to do it because it's all done in one sort of like round take. I liked the Fisher King, although it's a bit of a. I think you have to see it twice.
Yeah,
Fisher King. I think a lot of people would find the first watch hard going, but the second one a much easier thing to watch the second time round. Probably because it's a little bit like that. He did that film. What was it called? Moscow on the Hudson, didn't he? He did that film before the Fisher King. That was one of his early films. After Popeye. And that was a hard film to watch when you consider what Robin Williams is, because everybody recognized him as Mork from Ork.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all he'd ever been known for.
Yeah.
Really. Cocaine, stand-up comedy, Mork and Mindy. That was pretty much Robin Williams. And then he did a film like Moscow on the Hudson. You know, it's like The Fisher King was another one of those deep, thought-provoking things. And people I think were getting a bit pissed off because they weren't getting what they wanted. You know, where's this manic comedy I want? That's what you haven't done one yet. He keeps coming out with this other stuff. But it's funny, but we now look back at his career and we find hidden gems in so many scenes, even to films that we didn't really like, you know, I don't know, like Flubber, say, or you know, what I mean, my favorite film is Awakenings.
Yes. Oh, it's Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro.
Film, yeah.
You know, I mean, that's just me. That's my personal preference. But you know, 1 Hour Photo is spooky.
Oh, it's a good one. I'd put that was my favorite. Love that.
You know what I mean?
I think The Matrix is still rewatchable. I watched it and was totally amazed by it and had to rewatch it immediately again. It's one of those films that it just gobsmacked me. I just went, wow, what a film.
Yeah.
And I think it still stands up. I think
that
today,
was my first imported DVD, and it was gold. It was gold. It was a
yeah,
gold disc,
wow.
right? And
It's
I remember when people like me were importing discs, like because I was buying laser discs, right?
yeah,
And we were importing these. They were saying, "Oh, you might find that your player won't play it right from the start, even though it's an original, because the security protection on it is
yeah, yeah,
so strict. Even a player that's legit won't play it.
yeah.
That's how bad it is, right?" And mine ran, and it came in that Warner Brothers cardboard,
That's it with the cardboard thing. I
And it
remember
was a
that. Yeah,
gold. It was a gold. It was my first disc that was sort of gold. It wasn't silver. It
yeah.
was a gold disc, and I was like,
Oh,
"Wow, great."
yeah,
I've still got it. I think that.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I wish I had mine. I don't think I've got mine.
Yeah, it was American. It was my one of my first imported discs.
Yeah, but it's a film that was talked a lot. It was groundbreaking, and I still think it is. I still think Matrix is outstanding, an outstanding film.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It says here. Oh, wait, did Ian just miss my initial comment on 28 years later? I
Has
don't know.
he?
I'm going back. I'm going back. See if you did. Let's see your initial comment on it. I only gave 28 years later 3 out of 5. I remember you doing that. Is
Yeah,
there
you
another one
said that.
before that?
And I said it. I said when you said that, I said, well, that still makes the first two films a 4 or a 5, doesn't it? Makes
Yeah,
it still quite a high water margin.
yeah. Yeah, as far as I know, that was your initial comment, but yeah, I'm probably wrong, but I can't say it. So and then Tony Hawk says probably, and then I hate censorship. Yeah, we all do. It's pretty crap. It skipped my comment as well. Oh,
So what are we saying, that the chat is being um, is it YouTube that's sort of like
I don't know.
skipping stuff?
I don't know. I don't know.
If
I'm
anything is missing, I'll bring
I'll
it. But
try and not. I've always put. I try not to skip. I mean, occasionally I have missed things, but I'm not.
I don't see
missed
anything that says this is hidden because of any swear words.
No, no.
But then again, Tony York is our admin person.
Yeah,
He'd be the one that would be able to tell you that.
yeah. Anyhow, just before we go any further, I always say, if you haven't subscribed to Delboy's channel,
Oh, God.
please subscribe. Now, I've put a link in the description to his channel, and if anybody hasn't, please go over and subscribe to his channel. He's got a great channel. I know he's well known for his blog, which is brilliant. I love his blog, but he also does a lot of other things on there when he can, and well worth looking at. He's done film reviews. He's done trading cards, and he does his games, because I'm not a gamer, but he's got an audience who's into his games as well. So if you're into games, he's the man. He knows all about his games. So yeah, please subscribe, and it's there in the description. There you are.
I've got to come back in a moment and talk about that now. So no, the ice cream van is here, so I've got to go and look after my mum. So.
Yeah, I'll carry on going with things. Yeah. There you are. He'll be back. I think this might be the last time he has to go away. But anyhow, there we are. And then we've got McMahon, he's Jamie laughing. You two need to threaten unsubscribing. Yes, thank you. I'm unsubscribing from this live chat if I'm now getting censored. Oh, yes. I think, perish the thought. I wouldn't censor you, but yeah, perhaps somebody else has got control. Perhaps, I don't know. It's not me. Yeah, I like this one. Delboy's Mary Whitehouse in disguise. eyes. I'd have thought. I love it. Oh yes, definitely. I don't know. I just had the thought. It just makes me laugh. Mary Whitehouse. Oh. um, I wonder if, as a mod, I can remove Ian from the chat. Well, would you dare do that? No. Have a good laugh there. Now, the Silver Surfer isn't Norrin Rad. It's a different character. Is it? I don't know. He would know all about that. But yeah. And then we've got Wee Bob Art. Hi, gents, and all in the chat. Hello, Bob. Thank you so much for coming on to the live stream. We've got Sai saying, hi, Wee Bob. And then we've got James saying, I watched a weird foreign film called Nomad this week too. It's like a coming-of-age drama following two couples, but then turned violent in the final act with a Japanese sword-wielding assassin. That sounds quite interesting fun for the last act in the film. Yeah. Well, there you are. Nomad. And then James says, hi, Bob. And then Tony says, hi, Bob. And then Marvel fans are bastards. You can do all the insults. He's not here now. Oh, bloody Marvel. I don't know. What do you think these Marvel people are? I don't know. Batman all the way. Oh, I'll get shot. No, it's true. I prefer Batman. I do like Spider-Man. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I do like Spider-Man. He's probably the best of the Marvel creations, but I've always liked Batman. Always have, since Adam West days, going back all over those years. And then they're having a good laugh. And then Jamie says, Ma'am, oh, Mum, oh, crikey. I used to say me mum a lot. I did. I'd say that. I think, yeah, it's more natural for me to. I do say mum now. I've probably got a bit southernized, unfortunately, coming down, living in Midlands now. Well, East Midlands. It's North Midlands, I suppose you could say East Midlands. But yeah, I don't. I wouldn't say, but I know my mum's not with me, but I always do say me mum, and yeah, she's not here now. I do miss her. I still miss her. I miss them both, my dad, my mum. Yeah, definitely. But for me, yeah, it is mum. It is, yeah. But I suppose I've gone a bit posher and I say mum now as well. But there you are. In reference to Silver Surfer, Norrin Rad being a woman, Julie Garner, who plays the Silver Surfer, her character name is Shalabal. She's a completely different character. All right. That's interesting. Yeah. The fact that she's a different character, well, it's good. That's it. So that's fine. There's no problem there at all. If there ever was a problem. Bookman, it has to be ma'am. Your ma'am. Yeah, that's right. I think you're right, And James says, I've always said mum. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's an individual thing, but yeah. Yeah, I used to say my mum. And I remember my dad calling sometimes he'd say to him, oh, your mum wants you to do this. He would say that, referring to my mum. He'd call her mum. Yeah, as far as I know, yeah. And then Terry says, Mum, and Paul Patrick, the temperature is only around 14 degrees in Glasgow. It was 27 degrees last Friday. Oh boy. 27 degrees. Oh, that's too much. And people say, nah, it's not. Nah. Hey, we want more. We want it over 30 to 40. No, we don't. No, please. No. 27 sounds more than enough. For me, that's an absolute heat wave. You can see why I wouldn't be going to hot climates. I would not cope at all. I really wouldn't. It'd be bad enough going to, say, Spain, I would imagine, and their temperatures, it'd be too much for me. Yeah, imagine being 30 to 40 degrees. Oh, no. And then, of course, I'd be complaining if I went to Arctic. It was too cold. Or Greenland or somewhere like that. Or Iceland, maybe in winter one. Yeah, I'd be saying it's too cold. And then mam is a slight Celtic saying, I think. A lot of Scots and Irish say mam or mammy. Oh, yes, the mammy business. Now, I wouldn't say mammy. I'd say your mam, definitely. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I've called her both. I did, Definitely, I would have said my mum and my mam. Yeah, both for me. Mummy reminds me a lot of that wonderful comedy, Mrs. Brown's Boys. Yeah, I know. Oh, what a wonderful comedy that is. It's so not funny, isn't it? It's perhaps one of the worst nightmares anybody could have. Though you could say, well, you've never seen a whole episode. I saw enough of the trailers. Enough of the trailers to say, no, I don't want that rubbish. It's not funny. And why are BBC wasting our money? I could go into a rant. Why are the BBC wasting our money? Why every bloody Christmas Day, people don't want to sit down, but apparently they do because it gets quite big audiences and watching that load of rubbish. But of course, television anyhow now is becoming less relevant, live television on things like BBC. So there is hope that in the future it will just disappear. I'd kick it right out, wasting our money on that rubbish. How could they waste out? Well, they do, don't they? Waste our money on that. Tony York, yeah. Such a classic, yeah. It's a classic for, yes, not definitely a classic piece of rubbish. And then we've got Jamie through the lens. Hello, Jamie. Brilliant. Sorry, Jamie. Josh. Is it? I'm sorry, Josh. I'm going senile. Josh, not Jeff. See, there it is. Yeah. Anyhow, Josh, thank you so much for joining us and putting up with us old gits, I suppose, going, especially me, going on. But yeah, thank you so much for being here, Josh. And I hate people when to do something bad to me. When? I hate people when they threaten to do something bad to me. I hate all that. I hate bullying and people like that. Bullies always should be exposed. Yeah, I know. I exposed one and I got into trouble and still have on my channel. Because you weren't supposed to, but there is somebody who I know is very much, but I'm not allowed to say it because I get threatened by idiots. Through lens, I'm good, Del, laugh out loud. I've been super busy with work. I haven't had time to post any videos. Well, I understand that. If you're very busy, you're tired and there just isn't time. And then Josh says, We love you, Del. Don't worry. So there you are. He's got a lot of love. Whether you know what he's like, though, that'll go to his head now. Um, World's smallest violin. Woohoo! Yeah. Through the lens. I have 2 steel books coming tomorrow. My first one's in a long time. Bought Joker 2 and Signs on 4K. Shame I missed out on the Avatar steelbook when it was cheap. Now that's interesting. I have seen people getting Joker 2 on steelbook because I think it was very, very cheap somewhere. And it's a film that it was not liked at all, I think, when it came out. And I have to agree with it. But some people, it does have a following. But I never got on with it. And Signs, it's a brilliant film. Though I do like a lot of his films. I know that is one of his best, but I think he's totally underrated. But he has a lot of people who criticize him, but I like him as a director, you know. And Trap, I thought was absolutely amazing. Absolutely love Trap. What a film that is. And Knock at the Cabin. Yeah. Cinematography and musical composition is the most important part of a film for me. The film is only as good as its shots. Yeah, that's why I think your reviews are really interesting. You do give another insight into a film and talk about that in your reviews, which I think is good because a lot of people, like if I review it, don't do that. And I think it's a good thing to do. I think it adds another aspect to a review. And you should do, you know, if you get a chance to, is do more reviews, hopefully. You know, I think it's well worth doing. I know you put a lot into them. They're well put together, well edited, and you put a really good commentary on that. In fact, I think one of your strengths in what 3-4 minutes, you can give a really good feel of what a film is about. You know, the feel. I think that is important. Yeah, and that's the strength. It's different from a lot of other reviews of films. So I think that's good. I think it's really good. Hopefully, you'll be doing more. I really enjoy them. The fact that they are different from what the standard reviews are. If you haven't seen Paris, Texas, do yourself a favor and watch it. I agree. It's one of the most visually stunning films I've ever seen. From the incredible cinematography to Wim Wenders' camera angles. It's an amazing piece of filmmaking with such a compelling narrative. You've said it all really much better than I can. I just remember when it came out and I went to the cinema to watch it, that was it. I just thought, this is something special. It really is special. And then I saw it a few more times on the big screen. I really ought to get it. It's just a great film. Something very special about it. Josh says, Paris, Texas is one of the best movies ever made, not just for its emotional depth, but its visuals. The shot of Travis on the phone as his reflection is seen behind the glass is mind-blowing. Oh, that's yeah. Only one like in the chat, by the way. Hit the like button, people. Thank you so much. We both appreciate that, please. Thank you so much.
I don't sod the bloody lot of you little shit. Who gives a crap?
Two fingers.
We're here anyway.
Mr. Two Fingers.
Don't listen to that, Josh. He's above himself. Bloody high-browed little git. All he needs is a smoking jacket and a pipe, little bastard. No, I'm only kidding. Only kidding.
And then we've got Tony saying, while on the subject of New Zealand films, have you seen Sleeping Dogs 1977? Sam Neill's first starring role, a political thriller depicting New Zealand transforming into a police state with a fascist government. I've not heard of that one. It sounds good. The premise sounds really good. Sam Neill, great actor. Have you heard of it?
Yes.
Yes, there you are. Anything to say?
I was big on Sam Neill, probably before Omen 3.
Yeah.
I can't quite remember what the first Sam Neill film I saw was. But there was something about his face and his acting that I quite liked.
I know the one that I saw him first in was in the yacht, when he's on that yacht and there's a psycho with him on board. What's that one called? Dead Calm. Is that Dead Calm? Yeah, Dead Calm. I think that was the first film I saw him in. Absolutely brilliant. The way they filmed it on board that yacht, it was amazing. It was really good, very good film.
That's the Robert Is it Robert De Niro?
No, it's not Robert De Niro. No. Who's the bloke in it? He's in Titanic. The bloke is it Zane or something? His name is. He's the psycho in it. Is it Billy Zane? I think it's Billy Zane.
All right.
That's it. He's the psycho. Very good film. It's an early one. I say, mate.
What's the one I'm thinking of then? The one that's a remake of an earlier film with Burt Lancaster. Not Burt Lancaster. What's his name? Robert Mitchum.
The
one that's got the one from the girl that's in Juliette Lewis. No, not Juliette Lewis. What's her name? Crying out loud. See, my brain. Forget it. Anyway,
it's all right. Don't worry.
Cape Fear. That was it. Cape Fear. I was thinking of.
Yeah, these films come to you.
No, it was because you were talking about boats and stuff.
Yeah.
Cape Fear's got a very big boat scene in it.
Oh yeah, Cape Fear. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's Robert De Niro, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but I do remember Dead Calm from the 80s.
Yeah, the Dead Calm. That's the one. I think it's probably the first film I saw him in. Probably. Because I'm sure that's before the Omen.
Well, when's Omen 3? Omen 3? That's 80. Yeah. That's 80s, but
yeah, I think I saw that before.
Is that mid 80s?
Yeah, Omen 3 must be. I'm trying to think. Yeah,
but of course, Sam Neill. I was talking about him earlier, wasn't I? With Bicentennial Man.
Yeah,
and I was talking, and of course he's been in the Tudors as a mini series. He's Jurassic Park.
He's in a Stephen King film, isn't he? Is he like a bookshop owner or something?
What's that?
Sam Neill. I can't think what it is.
What, in the Mouth of Madness? No, not in the Mouth of Madness.
I don't know.
Something like Things, Needful Things.
I'm sure it's a Stephen King film. I'm sure he's in. Yeah. Anyhow, it's a long time ago. And then, they're on about the Paris, Texas Yes Lands. That shot is incredible. It's from Paris, Texas. They're on about. Question. Sai says, what would you say are some of the most beautiful looking films?
Hang on. I've looked at the rest of this. Every single film he's put there would be the ones that I'd say are the most beautiful films. Right? That I'd have got, because everybody knows how much I love Lawrence of Arabia, right?
Yeah.
Blade Runner, obviously. June, we've been talking about for ages. I might not have put Dr. Zhivago in, but I'd have put something in like Once Upon a Time in America and Once Upon a Time in the West. They're both visually stunning. But, I told you Ridley Scott films, Blade Runner and Thelma and Louise and 1492, they're all classic looking, bloody gorgeous, expansive films. But anyway, I'm just saying, bloody hell, man! Look, you ain't leaving us much. Look, Lawrence of Arabia, Dr.
Yeah, I
Zhivago,
know. Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
The ones we'd mentioned, Lawrence of Arabia, obviously beautiful film.
I was just going, sorry, you bastard! Look, you mentioned. What do you want us? You want us to name the number 6 best film? Do you? Is that what you're asking us to do?
Actually, I know what what I would say. I'd say the original Blade Runner for me is absolutely beautiful film. You put Blade Runner 2049, but for me, the great film is Blade Runner.
Well,
and
Blade
what
Runner,
a film!
Blade Runner, the original Blade Runner is very much a light and dark thing, and it works because of the neon that's
Everything
there.
about it.
But even so, I mean, you can see Ridley Scott. You see people walk in from the very left-hand edge, and there'll be Harrison Ford on the right with a big table in between and sitting down. And in the background, there'll be a window that opens out to the whole world, and you see all the.
Right.
This is where I'm saying, wow,
it is.
Wow,
it's a wow factor.
It opens up. It opens up with one of the first sort of like model, like no CGI type special effects.
It's absolutely brilliant. It knocked me sideways when I saw that. I gasped when I saw that opening scene in Blade Runner. You went, oh, wow. And there it was on the big screen. It was.
I was a big, when it came to special effects. I was a big fan of Douglas. Is it Douglas Trumbull? He did the Enterprise for Star Motion Picture. He did 2001: Space Odyssey.
Right. Yeah.
He then went into TV and did Space 1999 and did the Eagle.
Oh wow.
I mean, my goodness, this man did model work like
wow.
And he made it look beautiful. But I think his name's Douglas Trumbull.
Yeah.
Very big on him.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of any other films that I've liked. The original Blade Runner for me has always been that.
I mean, Avatar. You could turn around and say Avatar, but it's drawn.
Yeah,
it's just CGI. I tried to stick away from CGI as a beautiful film. Lawrence of Arabia is just pure natural.
I think I'm going to be controversial because I love the film so much. I love its look. Is Blade Runner? Dune 1984. I love that film, and the visuals for me are just far superior to the 2 remakes. It's just such a wonderful film, Dune 1984. So when I look at that, all the style, the visual effects in Dune 1984, fantastic. That's why Lynch was good in that. I just absolutely loved his direction. Brilliant. Yeah, I think that was my choice. Yeah. Is there any others? Well, actually, I think it's your favorite film. I think Star Trek: The Motion Picture is in it. It's
like I said,
it's such a beautiful film.
It's one of those ones where they did these sort of like special effects, like putting oil in water and then putting a camera and then making it look like the Vija flyover and all of these lines that were coming towards it. They call it the motionless picture, which I think is
it's rubbish. That it's wrong. Yeah, it's a beauty. I've always loved it. Always loved the motion. I could never understand.
You see, a lot of people misinterpret Star Trek: The Motion Picture, right? They say things like this, right? So William Shatner is getting into a shuttle with Scotty. They're going to fly over the Enterprise, right? Cue 15 minutes of boredom as Kirk flies by a ship, looking in awe as if he'd never seen the Enterprise in his life, right?
Yeah.
So what you have to understand is that it's very hard. It's very hard to get what the book was trying to portray. But what you have to understand is that Kirk hadn't seen the Enterprise or commanded a starship in years, right? He gave up being a captain to be an admiral, which later on is talked about in the second film. Because he turns around and he says, "I think you were wrong to take up that. You are your best, and what you do is being a captain, and taking up that command was the wrong thing to do."
Yeah.
So what you have to understand is he's been stuck inside on doing things like the Kobayashi Maru and getting recruits up there, right? And this is and then basically he's flying past something that he was in for 5 years, this ship.
Yeah.
And it's just been redone, right? It's like seeing your old car, it's been to the shop, it's had a bloody great big wax and bloody done to it. And you're looking around the car and you're going, wow, it's like it came out the showroom for the first time, right?
Yeah.
So why is it bad that he's looking at it in awe like he's never seen it before? It was an all-new Enterprise. It was so it's people not understanding actually what was actually that scene was all about.
I think there were
people making a joke and a laugh at it.
Yeah,
but actually, that's exactly how I would have been going around this thing.
And I think when I saw that film for the first time, that's how I felt about the film, in awe of it, because it was just so special. Having that break, people forget that it got cancelled, and there was a break then. And then when we knew that they were bringing out a film of Star Trek that you'd love so much, it was a big thing. It was a massive thing. And then you went, and there it was on screen, and we're all going, "Oh, they've aged a bit. Look how old they look." It seems ironic that we say that now, but
that Enterprise. I mean, it had twice the orchestral power of the old Enterprise. I mean, for God's sake,
amazing film. I love it.
Did you get that? Twice the orchestral power of the old.
No.
Because it's Jerry Goldsmith.
Yeah, I know. Yes, yeah. We knew we'd get one there again.
Anyway.
Oh dear. Well, I should have fallen into that one. Anyhow, let's go to the next comment. No, I've not seen Sleeping Dogs, Tony. New Zealand, I have seen Hunt for the Wilder People, What We Do in the Shadows,
What We Do in the Shadows,
The World's Fastest Indian. That's an interesting title, The World's Fastest Indian. I've not heard of any of that. Apart from, I've heard What We Do in the Shadows. Isn't that a comedy vampire?
Yeah, that's what I think What We Do in the Shadows is.
Yeah.
It stars that Matt Watson.
Hank Marvin. Hank Marvin. Don't you get the joke? The Shadows.
Yes. I've seen the piano.
Yeah.
I've seen What We Do in the Shadows. I haven't seen The World's Fastest Indian. No. I've seen The World's Fastest Me after an Indian.
Yeah. I don't like it. Don't like curry at all. Oh, dreadful. And then Tony says, "You have River Queen on DVD, Ian, or at least should have. I think some bastard may have sent it. I'll look out. I haven't got everything. I've still got quite a lot that are in the covers.
That's that bloke who stole about 6 billion sort of first class stamps from the Royal Mail back in the 80s, and he's been trying to get rid of them ever since.
I'm just going to write that down. I'll see if I can fish it out. It'll be in one of them.
Are you making jokes up now? Fish it out, the River Queen. Is this? What is this? Eh? Is this in Crouch on my area or what?
Right. Right. And I love The World's Fastest Indian. Anthony Hopkins is superb as Burton Monroe. Wow.
Now I want to see it because it's got Anthony Hopkins in it.
Wow. And Burton Monroe, I have no idea about who that is. No. Sounds interesting. And then Si says, have you seen that there's a remake of War of the Roses? It stars Olivia Colman and Benedict Cumberbatch. I know that's the original one with what's his name?
Kirk
Douglas. Kirk Douglas. Not Kirk Douglas. His son. Michael Douglas. That's it.
Oh
yes.
yeah, it's Michael Douglas and from Romancing the Stones. What's her name? Kathleen.
Yeah. Kathleen Turner. Is it Turner? No.
From Romancing the Stone, anyway, isn't it?
But yeah, I know that's a divorce. It's a divorce thing, isn't it? That the War of the Roses. Yeah. But I didn't know that they'd done a remake of it. Yeah. Amazing how they made all that sound look so beautiful in Lauren's side. So,
yeah.
Basically,
the whole sand dunes is and Jar's music, because it's Maurice Jar who did the music.
Beautiful.
It's just gorgeous. And then of course you've got the trains that are going across the dunes. And it just looks gorgeous because, I mean, you think to yourself, bloody hell, those train tracks are going to probably get sunk into the sand in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How do they keep them railway track on top of that sand? That's what I did when I looked at it. I was going,
Jamie says, still need to see Once Were Warriors. And Sai says, look, man, the world's fastest Indian is so good. Oh, right. But just seeing the piano out of those, Jamie, really enjoyed that. Yeah. A lot of people talk about the piano.
Yeah, I've seen the piano. It's a big black thing with keys.
There we go.
Right?
Yeah.
It's got about 88 keys, mostly white and black. And it's got this sort of like big flat thing that sort of like sticks up. It's really good. Shut your face.
I've white water rafted. Try saying that a few times. Down the river where you see the two huge statues at the end of Lord of the Rings Fellowship. Statues weren't bloody there though. Oh, what hell?
No, they wouldn't be. No.
And then he says, put them on your list, Tony. All very good. All the films he's recommended. He says, I loved New Zealand. Preferred it to Australia. Almost emigrated to New Zealand after I was made redundant in 2009, but ended up landing a job 2 weeks later. Oh, you did well to get a job 2 weeks later, actually, after being made redundant.
Well, you mean we could? You mean we could have got rid of this sod earlier?
He could be shouting at you from New Zealand.
See what I mean? You don't want to tell me things like that. I was just happy that you're over here, and now I'm going to find out we could have got rid of you bloody 16 years ago, you bastard.
And then Jamie says, anyone think Mercedes Ruiz is hot in The Fisher King? I never did until this week. Must be because I'm getting older. Yes.
Oh, with those red glasses on, I'm not even going blind. Yeah, Jesus.
Oh dear. Never heard of her, Jamie. Just check. She's 77, you granny grabber. I like that granny grabber.
Granny grabber.
Sorry, Si, missed your comment. Yes, world's fastest Indian is Brill. So enduring and funny, based on a true story. I love the bit where he asked the kid next door to piss on his lemon tree while he's away.
I want to see this film now.
And then Jeff Wayne's musical version of War of the Worlds deluxe collector's edition box set for about £299.99. What do you think of this set and price? Don't ask me about that blooming price.
I don't know what you get.
Yeah.
What do you get for 299 quid? Jesus.
300 really. 300 quid is a penny
Yeah, I mean,
short of 300.
yeah, I'm just saying, what do you get? I mean,
Yeah.
is it just the CDs? Is it DVDs? A book? What do you
You'd
get?
expect a massive book. You'd expect low. I bet there's some vinyl nowadays they put in. Various CDs, DVDs, Blu-rays.
I mean,
They
I've
probably
got
stick
this.
about
I've got this
everything in.
one.
You have to turn your back thing off. We can't see it that well. That's it.
I mean, I've got this one.
Yeah.
Collector's edition. I mean, it's got.
Oh, there you go. I can see it better now. Switch that off.
What's it got? The definitive version. I don't know how many CDs are in here. You got 7.
How much was that then? Or is that the one he's talking about?
That's what I mean. It's called the definitive edition. This is the collector's edition. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7 CDs. No, 6 CDs, 1 DVD. I bought this when it first came out. It was £99.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
But
yeah, because he's done as deluxe collector's edition. Deluxe.
Yeah.
Crikey. 300 quid's worth.
I mean, I've still got my original gatefold LP.
Yeah.
With the book inside it and everything, which I think is one of the most beautiful gatefolded LPs that you can get. And I got that in 1977, 78.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. You then, when later on you learn who Jeff Wayne is. I mean, he did all the Esso adverts. That tiger advert. With the tiger,
I remember. The tiger in your tank.
Esso and all that sort of stuff. And he did all the music to things like the World Cup for TV and that for years. I think it's amazing, really, what his career. And then I told you after War of the Worlds, he did Spartacus.
Yeah.
And it has Anthony Hopkins as the narrator and Catherine Zeta-Jones as one of the singers. And it's structured just like War of the Worlds. And not many people have even talk about that.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's not brilliant, but it was another double CD.
Yeah.
Double album type thing. But what do I think? £299. If that's the thing you sort of want, £299 is not expensive if you've got the money
and it makes you happy.
Really, really want.
If you want it, yeah.
I always answer that question in exactly the same way. Nothing is over the top if you're prepared to pay it and you're happy to pay it. It's only over the top when you go, wow, because you realise £299 is an awful lot of money. You know what I mean? But it could be a breeze to you. Remember, Jim Jam got his never-ending story, didn't he, through the post? Right? And everybody was going, how much was that? £199 for the never-ending story. Well, he
loves it.
It could be a joke to anybody, really seriously, the never-ending story. It's a kiddies film, £199. But at the end of the day, if it's your favourite film,
don't matter. Yeah.
For all, I mean, that could have been £399 and they'd have still bought it.
Exactly.
What I mean?
I agree totally. It's a different perspective when it's your favourite. Definitely.
No, if they bring out Star Trek: The Motion Picture and it comes out for £599 and comes
you'll
with
be buying it. I know.
And it comes with a die-cast model of the Enterprise, I'm probably buying it.
Yeah, you would. Yeah. If you've got the money, there's no problem.
It comes with a medical. It comes with a medical tricorder signed by DeForest Kelly, and it costs you £799. I'm going, put me down, pre-order. Is it a steel book? Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, no. Yeah.
So it'd be like that, really.
Oh, if they really wanted to get you, they'd have variations of the Steelbook, wouldn't they?
Oh yeah.
So you'd have to buy more to get all the steelbooks if you're a real collector like that. Yeah. But you'd get it if you're you just get them if you're a real fan, don't you?
That's it. It's
Yeah.
what you're prepared to
If
pay.
you love it, if you love something, you're gonna get it. That's
It's
it.
what you're prepared
Yeah.
to pay. It's as simple as
Yeah,
that.
yeah, exactly. And there's no wrong with that. I never condemn anybody. Never. You know, I don't think, well, I can't afford it, but
But
if they're happy, they're enjoying it.
I'm intrigued to
That's
know
great.
what you get in that collector set. I mean,
Yeah,
what do you get?
I would
Maybe
hope a lot of good stuff.
maybe the sum of its parts I've already got.
Yeah, that's it.
Just
Yeah,
the only thing I'd be getting is the box it comes in.
yeah, yeah.
Because I've got the rest.
Well, there might be a hardback book or something in there about it, but yeah, you know, who knows? And then we've got Sight saying The World According to Garp is an underrated Robin Williams film. I've not seen that one. And then James says The Fisher King is from 1991, though. So she'll have been 43. Oh, yeah, it's on about the granny grabbing bit.
Yeah, how old were you in 1991 then?
And Danny says,
I'm going to guess here in a minute. I'm going to guess he was 20 something. 25
yeah.
or something.
Yeah. Yeah. YouTube has been playing up. Yeah, I don't understand that. Yeah. Sold that, Donny. Daylight Robbery at that price. Oh, there you are. Danny Jukes, what my movies? Yep, but I need it, but not at that price.
Yeah.
It's all individual.
There's nothing wrong with saying that either, because, like I say, if it's not high on your radar, something that you've been waiting for years and years and years, then it's just too expensive an item. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I refuse to buy Vinegar Syndrome films and have them imported over unless I've got something like 5 of them that I want to buy because of how much it costs to have them shipped over and the cost of them and all of that sort of stuff. It's just too expensive. Remember, I got stung with that the Martian Chronicles, didn't I? What did you buy it for, you bastard? You got it for about 20 odd quid. What did I buy it for?
Yeah, I waited. I was patient.
70 odd pounds I bought that for.
Actually, there's an interesting thing here about price, and I think it's interesting because Bookman Movies, Jamie, he did this video on Criterion collection.
I've seen. Hang on, before you go any further, because he's written a question. Oi, you bastard! Have you seen my latest video? Right? Yes, you bastard. I have, and I haven't got 10 Criterion films. So sod you, because I buy films based on studios, not based on boutique labels. Right?
But what I was going to.
I've got 10 Criterion laser discs.
Yeah. I think I can see value in Criterion collection.
They are good.
But it depends what you want from a film and how much you really want that film. I mean, was it Midnight Cowboy, I think was one
brilliant
of them
film.
Was down. It is a brilliant film. And therefore, if you want to know more about that film, well, where else would you go but Criterion Collection? That's what you would do. It depends how much you really love the film, and if you really do, and want
you come around my house and you watch the laser disc of it.
Yeah, but you know, I always say it's what if you can afford it, go ahead. That's what I say.
Listen. Yeah. One of the nicest things that I could actually, think, had done was buy you The Irishman, which was a Criterion edition. I remember you said, you know what? I have not got many Criterion films. And look at the packaging in this.
Beautiful.
But it made me feel all warm and gooey inside because it was like, I don't give a shit how much it cost me. It was like, look at your face when you opened it up.
Yeah. Well, it is. It's beautiful. And you know, I've looked at the Criterion Collection and thought, wow, I wish I could afford some of those. And, you know, maybe all goes well.
Isn't it strange, right? One of the earliest Criterion editions I ever bought was Some Like It Hot, right?
Yes, yeah.
Bought it on Laserdisc, right? You cannot get Some Like It Hot on 4K in this country. You have to buy it in America.
Yeah.
They have still not released the 4K
Is there a reason
in this country?
Is there a copyright reason or something?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's like, why?
Yeah.
What is it about Criterion that says that in certain countries you can get it and you can't get it in this country? I think there was that. What was that? Something hours out about. No, I forgot who it was. That came out last year. And it had Rosanna Arquette in it.
I don't know.
Trading Hours or something like that. It came out in the States. I ordered it, bought it, came out over here then 3 months
later. You're going. I bet you're saying your favourite word again. Yeah.
You know, I'm going. I think another one is Blowout. Blowout was a
which one? Which version?
John Travolta one.
Oh, I thought there's the other one as well. Hemingway, Hemmings, David Hemmings ones, 60s.
But that was a Criterion that I think was America only, and then they finally brought it out. But Some Like It Hot, how old is that? They haven't got it over here.
Yeah.
Don't get it.
No. And then Mum says, "Yep." And then, is it a Blu-ray, Danny? Must have some very special extras. Yeah, well, yeah, that's what you hope. At that price, you can get a Blu-ray of newest stage version of War of the Worlds for about £15 on Amazon.
And like I said, I've got the Blu-ray one with the
And then James says, "Ian, what is your favourite film you've watched so far from Tony's?"
Oh, God! Sod off with that question.
There's been loads. There's been absolutely loads. I don't know which one to say. I mean,
Ian, just excuse me, just for a minute, but how many films has Tony sent you now over the last couple of days? Oh, here's another question. Oh, hello, Ian. When he sends you these boxes of films, do you catalogue them? And what program do you put the catalogue in? Oh, here's another question. Ian, look, you know that stuff that Tony sends you? Sod off! We know! This bloody boy band romance these two have got.
Actually, I'll just say two films that always.
Yeah, two films. I've got two films for you. Yeah, here's my two films.
Yeah. Tracker, of course. We talked about that. That's a more recent one. We've got to talk about Tracker, but absolutely love that. I don't know. He's sent so many good ones that I've just absolutely love. I don't know which ones to say.
Go on, go over to the Shrine of Tony and have a look.
I don't know.
Tony's Shrine of DVDs.
I know which one. It's definitely one of my favorite war films. Is Von Ryan's Express. I absolutely love that because I've not seen it for years, and Tony sent it, and I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Love Von Ryan's Express. It ticks all my boxes. I just love that as a war film. So that's the one. Yeah.
You see, what you don't understand, boys and girls, right, is every time he looks over, right, to that wall, right?
Well, there's two walls. Look there.
Right, yeah.
Look there.
Right, yeah, right. No, hang on, right. He's got a picture of Tony, right? And then he's got the Shrine of Tony's DVDs, right? And he's got 5 shelves, right, full of these bloody DVDs, right, over there, right? And then over the other side, it's got the other stuff that Tony sent me. Right over the other side. Stuff I haven't watched yet by Tony.
And what about all those over there? There's some that you can't see.
Yeah, and
There's even more.
then there's the ones that are at the Royal Mail that ain't even got postage yet.
And there's some in plastic, little plastic things that haven't got cases. You see, I've got plenty of them as well.
Yeah.
Right. Is this a Dell wind-up, Jamie? There's always plenty of Dell wind-ups here.
Which one? Which one?
Oh, dear. Oh, and then we've got Josh through the lens. I want to try and create video essays as well as short reviews, but it's a time thing for me. I work 50 hours a week sometimes, so I barely have the time. 50 hours, you'll be knackered.
Yeah, we've
absolutely knackered. Yeah,
I remember those hours that I was doing during COVID, when I had to actually go in and I worked for 13, 14 hours a day and did that every day for 5 days a week. And then when it got to the weekend, I just slept all the way through it and then did it again. And I just lost so many hours.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, the one thing that you have about that is a little bit is regret, because that was the time where I could have been with my family. And if work don't respect the amount of work that you were doing, then basically you just feel conned.
Yeah.
Because they make you feel like, oh yeah, if you don't do this, we're going to have to shut up shop. Nobody will be able to work because they haven't got a laptop, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then 4 years later, they take your manager's job away from you and say, well, that's because, we don't need you as a manager anymore. And you're just going,
yeah.
So, thanks for that.
Yeah.
And you just feel, and then you get resentment. But from my point of view, the lesson I learned from that is that nothing is more important than family.
Yep. Spot on.
As much as I want to do a good job, and I'll put 110% in, as far as I'm concerned now, if I have to do a single minute over the 8 hours that I have to do, it's because I want to.
Yeah.
And not because I feel that there's a need that they've made me need, like
I've got
to or something.
Yeah.
Right. Because I won't, because at the end of the day, they don't do it.
No.
It's like one of them pyramid. It's like one of them pyramid schemes where somebody at the top doing sod all and getting all the money in.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
I don't blame you. Once you've logged out and have finished, they can F off. Basically, they can't get there. You sod them all. Once you've logged off.
Honestly, if I want to, I will. And every minute of the day between those two times, I'm not larking about and I'm not messing about. I'm doing the job, right?
Yeah.
So as far as I'm concerned, any minute over it, you're getting a bonus.
Yes, quite right. Yeah.
I shouldn't feel like, oh well, this other person, he put in another hour than you. I'll be turning around saying, well, maybe his home life is different to mine.
Exactly. And people have different priorities.
I ain't going to feel bad that somebody else was able to give an hour for.
No, exactly. Nothing. Yeah. You don't get any thanks from anybody, do you? You don't.
I've learned that.
Thanks. Never.
I've learned that.
Yeah. Anyhow, Sawburnt Offerings. Wasn't expecting such a brutal ending. Yeah, I've got that, believe it or not. Oliver Reed, I know, is in that, and it is brutal. Absolutely brutal, the ending. Yeah. Great film.
5 years ago, I was given Burnt Offerings. Tasted horrible.
Oh.
It was bloody awful, right? It must have been in the oven for about 8 hours or something, because I tell you what, it tastes like cinders.
Have you ever done toast and scraped off the
it never tastes the same, does it? Right? The biggest mistake you could do with that, right, is you burn the toast, right, and you go over the sink and you scrape it, right. all of this black dust goes on your knife, right? When you're scraping it off, right?
Yeah.
If you don't wipe that black dust off of it, you put it in your butter dish. You spread it
Yes.
back on.
Yeah, you get that. Yeah. I know. Oh dear. And then there's
Lad,
5 likes now. Oh, thank you. Anyhow, thanks so much, Danny, for promoting us. Thank you. Josh says, I started watching Ironheart today, and I was honestly kind of bored by it, unfortunately. It doesn't seem to go anywhere interesting. It will fade into obscurity pretty quick, I feel.
Isn't that what I was talking to you earlier on? Ironheart is that Disney's TV version of a woman Iron Man.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
Which they've started to drop, and it's basically a show that they shelved for a long time, but they decided to bring it out because the story was so strong, because it was written at the time where Iron Man had just died, and it was at a time where Marvel was in its heyday. So they thought that it might be quality enough to still be able to have relevance now.
Yeah.
But I told you, Ironheart is just a woke version of Iron Man. It's a woman version of Iron Man.
Yeah. Sounds pretty.
It's in the comics. It's in the
Yeah.
comics. It was in the comics, and basically the comic book died after about 2 years because basically people saw and said, I don't need to see a woman Iron Man. I know anybody can be in the iron suit, but to me, Iron Man has been Tony Stark for 40 years.
Yeah.
I don't need to see another Iron Man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, that's why people are saying about the Fantastic Four, Norrin Rand has always been a bloke, not a woman. It's like, is Sue Storm now going to be a bloke? You know, is this what's going to happen next? You know, the Invisible Woman is going to be the Invisible Man, because if you do the Invisible Man, we've had the Invisible Man since the 1930s. Right.
Oh,
no,
dear.
but you know what I mean. You understand where I'm coming from. It's like gender swapping.
Oh God. Yeah. And then we've got James says, Delboy, have you seen my latest video yet, you bastard?
I told you 10 Criterion films. I watch them as soon as they come up in my alert box. I am instantly there watching a Muckman movie. I can tell you this, the ones, most of the ones that he actually had in his list, if you want. You know, because he went from 10, upwards, and he was putting them on his shelves as he reads them out. And there were all these titles that I don't understand because they're from Korea and all of this sort of stuff. And I'm going, well, no fucking idea what that one is. No idea what that one is. But it was a community question, wasn't it, Muckman? Am I right? Am I wrong? It was in answer to a community question of what 10 Criterion films would you rush out of your house if you had a big fire? And I turned around and said, "What?" I said, "Why have I got to rescue just Criterion films? I want to rescue all my bloody other films and all. I'd be taking a bloody big hose in there saying, put it out, you bastards! I don't want my stuff on fire, you get." I swear sometimes all of these questions that come up saying there's a fire in your house, I'm saying, do you know what? I'm going to get a bloody big fire extinguisher. I'm going to go to Argos tomorrow and buy one. Somebody's predicting that my house is going to be on fire at some point. And I'm going to be ahead of the game. So, I mean, why do people keep thinking my house is going to go on fire?
Yeah, and honestly, do you really think the first thing you'll think of is your collection? I don't think so. The first thing you're thinking is how you're going to get out of bloody house, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to get my mum out. I'm going to get my mum out the house. Christ, I can't get her in the car. I can't get her out the house. The car in 20 minutes.
I'll take this. You probably, by the time you've decided, you've probably been burnt to death. By the time you've decided.
Honestly, though, I'm going to go to Argos and get a fire extinguisher tomorrow.
I suppose what you could do is, imagine even if you did that, is wrote you say 10 down and pin them up somewhere and say, in case of fire, take these 10. But then you've got to find them. If you've got a big collection, it might not be easy to find the 10. And again, you might be burnt to death by the time you found the 10. Yeah, it doesn't work. It doesn't work, does it, you bastard? So the ending of Burnt Offerings is terrifying. When I saw it for the first time when I was younger, it gave me nightmares for days. Oh, crikey. Nicole Kidman is pretty in Dead Calm. She is. She is pretty most of the time, actually. She's a very attractive one.
What was that film she was in with her husband where they were from Ireland? It was they were set as Irish immigrants or something, weren't they?
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one. And she's one called Australia, isn't it? She's in.
No, because there was Days of Thunder. She was in Days of Thunder. She was in Eyes Wide Open.
That's the one that
she's done a number of films with her then husband.
And then
didn't they first meet on the set of them being in an Irish film where they're both from Ireland, set up a new colony.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called.
Far and Away, there you are. Far and Away.
Yeah. But she's gone into these art house films, hasn't she? That Jamie knows all about. She's sort of spread her wings in other areas as well, hasn't she?
She spread her what?
I said spread her wings.
Oh, wings
around. I don't know, spread her things.
I didn't know what you said. All I heard was spread her, and I didn't hear what you spread her.
Yeah, I know. That doesn't sound very. It could sound very sexual or something. Right. Sai says Cape Fear. Yeah.
That's what
Billy Zane is something. Yeah, that Billy Zane, I remember him. He's in Titanic. I know that one. Good film. Used to watch my VHS of Dead Calm all the time, so it was wearing it out there. Tony says, I watched Jamie, but I didn't feel qualified to comment, as I can only think of one time Criterion Blu-ray I have. Repulsion. Oh, that's it's one I've wanted to get, and a couple of DVDs. One's French Crime and Italian historical. Yet Repulsion's a film I saw years and years ago. It's a really good film.
I've got Irishman, I've got After Hours, I've got Blowout. They're all Criterions. They're all honourable mentions, I would have said.
Yeah.
Films to get out of your collection as fast as you can because your house is on fire, you bastard. You know. You left the cooker on, you stupid son.
Oh, what about fires? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Pull that bloody. Oh dear. Cheers, Tony. I'm going to do a Eureka Masters of Cinema 10 to keep next. Oh well, we'll look forward to that. You can tell us about Eureka.
You see, I like this, but it always seems to be based on boutique label. Can it be on 20th Century Fox films I might want to protect? Because I can get that. I mean, why does it have to be 10 Arrow films or 10 Screen Factory films or whatever it is? It's the film, not the label that I'm bothered about.
Yeah.
And the film didn't come out from Eureka, it came out from 20th Century Fox. You know what I mean? Or it came out from Universal, or it came out from Sony, or that's all. It's just I get lost because I don't know how many Eureka films I've got. How many Criterion I've got. Not many, I would have thought.
No. Tony says I have several of those, Jamie. Yeah. And I've got a fair few. I know a couple of people on YouTube who have every Masters of Cinema release. Oh my. Yeah. And then Wee Bob Art says, I think Rudy is a very beautiful movie with brilliant soundtrack. I know Dell's seen it recently, but for me, I used to play American football and we had to watch it as part of our training. Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Remember I told you that I went to my soundtrack list, soundtrack stuff. And I don't know if anybody else has done this, but I used to be so into soundtracks that I would be buying stuff that I hadn't even seen the film of.
Yeah.
So I was going through my collection the other day and I found this one by Jerry Goldsmith and it was called Rudy. And I listened to it and went, do you know what? I've never seen the film. I think I'll go and watch the film.
Yeah.
And I was totally entertained by it. I hadn't seen it before. It's just that it's just it's an interesting way to watch a film.
It is. Yeah.
You're watching it based on the soundtrack that you
Yeah,
heard rather than listening to the soundtrack after a film that you've seen.
Yeah. Tony says, isn't there about 300 or more? Oh, the Criterion collection.
Oh, no doubt
it. Terrence Malick films always look stunning. I don't know any of those films. Days of Heaven is a beautiful looking film. Oh, right. Tony, probably. David. Hello, David. Hi, Ian and Del. Vangelis made Blade Runner even better. Amazing music. Vangelis was a one-off. I can't argue with you about that. The music.
I honestly, you can have the best cinematography in the world, but if you put over a soundtrack that's just so disjointed from it, you ruin the whole experience.
You know.
The art of a soundtrack is a composer that recognizes when you need silence and when you need something that moves your emotion.
Yeah,
certain films don't need music at all.
No, I agree. The silence is often part of the film when there's no music. Yeah.
But Blade Runner, I mean, it's got that. I mean, some people would probably say that it was starting to become a sound that was becoming a bit common because John and Vangelis, and there was a band.
Yeah.
And of
Elias
course,
Sunrise.
It done this TV show about the universe.
Yeah.
And there was an album, of that music that had come out. And then you got Chariots of Fire. And they all use this sort of like synth type sound, but it was the sound I'm trying to get at is that it's not the same synthesizer, it's the same sound out of that synthesizer. And then Blade Runner's got the same thing. It's almost like a brassy type sound, but synth version of a brass instrument. But it just works so well. I could listen to it in probably 15 or 20 films and I still wouldn't get bored of that sound.
Wow, yeah.
1492 is done by Vangelis as well, by the way, just so you know. 1492 has got a beautiful track called what's it called? The Monastery of it's an Italian name. Tell you what, you go and listen to that track, it's gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. That one track. The Monastery of the Ria something or other. Gorgeous, honestly. Anyway, if you want to hear a track that I think is stunning.
Right. Cy Robson, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is a great looking film too. Yeah, I think everybody with that new release.
It is, but The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is more about Leone's style of shots in regards to faces, where Once Upon a Time in the West is more about the expanse shots of the countryside. There is that signature Leone close-up shot, or the shot of a close-up face with a wide shot of the cowboys in the distance. That's a trope of Leone, right? But if you watch The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and you watch Once Upon a Time in the West, you'll notice that there's a lot more expanse countryside shots compared to The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is more close, I would have said. Doesn't make it any less beautiful.
Yeah. Let's see. Tony says there can't be too many people who enjoy every single title. In I want to see that my brain's gone in MOC. What's that stand for? Oh, it's a matter of completing a collection. Oh, Masters of Cinema. That's it. Got it. Sorry. Masters of Cinema series. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's interesting that some people do want everything in that collection, even if they're not as keen on the film. They just like the look of having a complete collection of films, and even films that they may already have in another form or a release. I've seen that on, watching YouTube videos. Oh, there's the other one is the HMV Premiere Collection. People love having that on the shelf.
Yeah, or you might just have to buy that Star Trek film, which is called X-23, that makes you have that gap. Makes you have that gap in your shelf.
Oh no! What? Who would pay all that? Is it worth £2? No. Oh dear. Right.
Well, it's not like I bought Exorcist 2, is it?
Now, here's a question. Ian and Dow, what's the best Jack the Ripper movie? From Hell with Johnny Depp and Robbie Coltrane was decent. I know a lot of people. I'll let you say one films that I would say, but
you're going to say Time After Time, and I'm going to agree with you that that's a fantastic Jack.
But another one as well.
But there's a Michael Caine one.
That's right.
There was sort of a mini. There was a mini series that was in 2 parts.
Yeah.
There
is one that I like, and it's a Hammer one. It's called Hands of the Ripper. It's not directly Jack the Ripper, but it's linked with Jack the Ripper from that, and I think it's great. Absolutely love Hands of the Ripper. It's a Hammer. Later one, probably, maybe around about 1970-ish, something around that area. Yeah, nice Hammer film. Not a lot of people probably mention it in terms of Hammer, because it went against, I suppose, what they were doing, but they were trying to do different things, trying to vary from Frankenstein and Dracula. We're getting a bit worn out by then, I think, and they were trying to refresh, so they were looking at other Gothic sort of stories to do, and that was
that Jack the Ripper with Michael Caine was actually, it was a network label re-release on Gold Label that made me get that.
Oh yes, yeah.
It was when it was re-released. It was the best £12 I'd ever spent, I think. That
yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, very good one. And then we've got Tony saying, David, the miniseries from 1988 with Michael Caine takes some beating. There it is again, yeah. And available on Old Gold Media now. Tony, I need to check out the Michael Caine Ripper movie. Thanks, you do. It's very good.
Easy to get hold of now.
Yeah. Sorry, should have read Burt Munro, Bloody Predictive Text. Yeah, well, yeah, tell me a predictive text is awful. I wish you could get rid of predicted text.
Yeah, he's blaming his phone now as the reason why.
Well, you have to type it. Yeah.
That's what he's trying to make us believe.
Hammer's Aries, look, he's mentioned Hammer's Hands of the Ripper was pretty good with a twist. Yeah, it is a great film, that one. Good call, Jim. Yeah. Hi guys.
Hey, it's my friend Steve, you bastard.
Yeah, Steve's game. Let's go and have you more greetings again. Welcome, Steve.
Oh, Here's my salute to Steve, you bastard, you fucking you little shit.
And then Jim says, "Evening, Steve." And then Tony says, "Talking of Hammer, quite an unusual next release from them in 4K, Blood Orange, a 1953 noir crime film directed by Terence Fisher." Oh, Terence Fisher. He's one of the world's greatest directors.
Now hang on, Tony. I didn't know that they've announced what the next one is, because I've got Quatermass Experiment 2 ordered.
And there's another one.
I've got the Quatermass Experiment. I've got Captain Kronos. I didn't order Shatter, but I did order the four-sided triangle. Is that right?
Yeah.
So is Blood Orange then one of the bigger box ones, or is it one of them smaller Shatter? Like Shatter and four-sided triangle. They're the smaller set compared to the bigger, bulkier 60 quid one.
Yeah.
Because I haven't heard of Blood Orange.
I wonder if it's 4K. I don't know whether it might be one of the smaller ones.
No, it's just that what I'm saying is they're doing them in two different sizes.
Yeah.
For every one big box, they're doing two smaller ones, and then a big box, then two smaller.
I mean, this is a film that's probably not that well known, so it's basically everybody's waiting for the Dracula to come out and the Curse. They're waiting for all those, but they're like teasing people, I think, trying to sell out the ones that they don't think are going to sell as well, so people will buy them as collectors. That's what they're doing. They're not daft. They're teasing you.
I'm actually on their mailing list, so I'm a bit disappointed that they haven't actually contacted me to say this is the next release.
Yeah,
that's the whole point, that you have an account open with them, because I've actually, all of my Hammer ones so far I've ordered through them. I haven't actually bought them from a shop. I bought them from Hammer.
Yeah.
I like them coming in those big cardboard boxes that I like opening.
I think they should release one of those big ones, just one to get people really happy. The Dracula or the Frankenstein, either one they should release.
Mondo made me got quite excited, because he turned around and he said, "You know what? I'd love to see 1,000,000 years BC."
Oh yeah, I love that. Yeah,
and I turned around and went, "Oh wow, yeah! Do you imagine a big box version of that? Raquel Welch on your front."
Yeah, an iconic image of Raquel Welch. Yeah, I'll never forget that poster. I'm blinded by it as a child watching it.
And what's happened? Now they're bringing out this Blood Orange shit. What's all that about? I want Raquel Welch now. When am I getting my Raquel Welch?
You see, the thing is, Hammer can keep doing this. They've got loads of Hammer films that nobody knows about. They can keep going for ages. But I think it's teasing you collectors. I think they ought to release now a big title. They should give you that. Definitely one of big titles. I'd say they should release Curse of Frankenstein. I think they should release that. I mean, what a great start. Oh, the Dracula, the first Dracula film. Release one of them, make people happy, and then go back to all other titles that nobody wants. And then Tony says, "Hi, Steve." Hi, Steve. Tony, new one to me, looks interesting. And Tony says, I think I had it on a bootleg DVD years ago. Don't remember anything about it. I have a US TV set with 6 Hammer 15 noir films on. They're quite low budget, but not bad. No, Hammer, some great early films. That's why I like Indicator. They've been putting out some of those Hammer films earlier ones.
I'm just going to get myself another drink. One minute.
Okay.
I'm not turning the camera off or anything.
I'll carry on. And then Jim says, I love low budget. One of my recent purchases was Devil Girls from Mars. Fantastic film. There's no low budget films are fantastic. I totally agree. I love those titles. Devil Girl from Mars. Absolutely fantastic film. Brilliant. They're so good. You can't help it. Cult followings all the way. And we're lucky to get these being released. I think it's great. Del, I Discord you the link to it. All right. So Delboy should get a link, which he should like. I bet we better tell him when he comes back to have a look. Which I don't. I'm on that Discord and don't take any notes. I don't bother. I should do. I should. I'm not into it. I don't know, but I'm on there. I should go and have a look and see what the posting. Right. It's coming back now. Danny says that put you a link on Discord for you.
Who has?
Danny Dukes.
Oh,
put
for
a
what?
link on Discord for you.
Oh, for that War of the Worlds.
Yeah, a link to it. He said, "Yeah,
that's really nice of you. Thanks very much, Danny. You bastard."
It says, Tony says, "Yes, Jim. I have a few B films on DVD that network released. Big budgets aren't always needed for something to be enjoyable." Totally, 100% agree. Like that film I was raving about today, James Mason one. You don't need all these big budgets or fancy special effects. You just get good actors. Brilliant. That's it. James says, world's fastest Indian DVD, only £3.52 at Music Magpie. Oh, that's pretty good.
See, this is the thing, right? By the time I get off this stream, by the time I've had a little chat with my friend Ian and said, what a nice lot of people everybody were today. By the time I get to Music Magpie, two things will have happened. Right? One, the sodding thing's not there anymore. Or two, we've only got one left and it's now going to cost you 12 quid. No point putting that out there in the masses. Every bugger's got it now, haven't they? By the time I get to it, where's the little private message said, Del, £3.52, Music Magpie. Suck the rest. I don't want everybody else to bloody get it. I want it. I just said on there I'd like that film. What's all that nonsense on there? Look, here's the heavy advertisement. Look, £3.52. Look here. Bastard.
Jim says some decent films in that collection, Tony. Sorry.
As long as people are happy, I don't.
Joe says, I was 18 in 1991. Oh, really? But the point is, I'm 52 now. So it's understandable that I now find her attractive because she was 9 years younger than I am now. There you are. And you don't have to justify yourself anyhow. Never worry about justifying yourself.
No, just because you're a pervert doesn't mean that you. Just because you're a pervert doesn't have to mean that you can actually do anything about it. It's all right. We all understand.
That's cool. We'd like to see your Criterion laser discs. There you are.
Honestly, I at the very beginning of my blogs, right? The very, very beginning, if you go back to blog number 6, 7, 8 and all that sort of stuff, I showed my Laserdiscs. I showed my Star Wars ones off, my Alien ones off. I actually showed some like it hot, my Gatefold Criterion. They're there. I'll show them off again. It's just that I found that once I'd shown them, I didn't need to show them again, if you see what I mean. People, I was just starting off, and there was only I only had about 50 subscribers. But basically, I got those 50 really quick, and then it all went slow from then on. I don't know what was going on. Yeah. But no, I really enjoyed showing them off in the early days. It was like, oh, look at this! Look at this! It was nice. I might do that again. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no wrong with doing that. Yeah, sounds a good idea. Tony says, watched on Ealing Drama, haven't seen for years. It Always Rains on Sunday, about an escaped prisoner on the run. Good portrait of post-war London. I love those when you see like London and in late 1947, fantastic after war. Be great to see London.
That's good because I mean my garden could do with some rains on Sunday, so it'd be really nice if that happens.
And
so is that 747 that's going to happen? 1947 is that 747 on Sunday? It's going to rain.
Criterion release.
I want to know, is it 747 on Sunday? Is that when it's going to rain? Because my garden could do with it. Is that right? Oh, is that the year it was made? I don't know. I might be talking about the year it was made. I don't know.
Oh dear, what can you say? Yeah, the old jokes. Yeah.
That wasn't a joke. I was being realistic. I was bastard.
Jamie says Criterion released Samurai Rebellion on DVD years ago, but I've never released a Blu-ray. So annoying because it's a brilliant film and must have lost a license. Well, that's what happens. Ian, what's the early Hitchcock movie that's like Jack the Ripper?
I don't think he did a silent one, did he? He started off very, very early doing.
Yeah, I think Hitchcock did. He did a silent one. I think he may have even done a couple, but not that many. But he did some silent ones. But I'm trying to think. Jack the. I can't think of any Hitchcock ones with Jack the Ripper.
I mean,
the serial killer. There's Frenzy, which is a serial killer.
Yeah, but that's more a strangler, isn't it?
Yeah.
See, Jack the Ripper is purposely a bloke going around with a knife,
and it's Victorian. It's got to be Victorian assassin.
Now, if you're going to do a modern one and Hitchcockish like Jack the Ripper, it's still got to be a bloke going around with a knife. And I don't remember many knife things in a Hitchcock film.
No, I
Psycho
don't.
is very psychological. Doesn't really involve knives much.
Yeah.
Friends is strangling.
Yeah.
North by Northwest has got a knife in the back of one. That's how it all starts. But I don't think he's done a Jack the Ripper unless it's something in his very early career in the silent stuff that I'm not that familiar with. I'm not sure.
As far as I'm aware, but yeah, if you have got any ideas, anybody, if he did a Jack the Ripper, I don't remember one at all.
I mean, I must admit, I love Hitchcock, but I don't know too much about his very, very early days.
His silent era.
You know where he was trying to get into the film industry, and they kept blocking his films. He had about 5 films that getting turned down, but they eventually brought them out and they did well.
Yeah,
but they really didn't want him to succeed, and they basically blocked all his films. I don't even know what those films are called.
Well, all the early films, none of them were made in Hollywood until he went to Hollywood after 1940s, wasn't it? I mean,
that's right.
30s and 40s, he's all British films.
Yeah. He got fed up with being blocked and said, "Right, bugger it off."
Yeah. So I don't know if anybody has any ideas. Please put comments down about a Jack the Ripper movie connected with Hitchcock. Jim, same rewatch Will Hayes' Ghost of St. Michael's. They don't make them like that anymore. I've never seen that, I'll be honest.
Ask a Policeman, and I think Ask a Policeman's the one which Cannon and Ball redid, wasn't it? The one with the Fisherman's Cove and where there's smuggling going on, and all the smuggling going on right underneath the actual police own shop or something.
Will Hay films are great. Love his fat companion and the old guy. Very funny.
The old guy is the one that I think most people remember.
With regard to Hitchcock, is it The Lodger, David? Never seen it, just heard of it now. I've never. It's not in any of my Hitchcock collections, but they're not complete. So I don't know. I've not heard of The Lodger. Not even as one of
that must be a very early.
Yeah,
there are literally 20 American Hitchcock films, weren't there? Anything before that is the 40s and 50s.
Yeah, and he did a lot. He was quite prolific then. I don't know how many films Hitchcock did, but it's a pretty big amount, definitely. Right. James says, what would your death row final meal be? Main and dessert? I don't know. What's your favourite meal then, Tavan? Your last one?
No, he said, what would be your death row final
meal?
Yeah,
your final meal, what would you have?
I suppose it'd be a Christmas dinner with I don't know, followed by, chocolate sponge and ice cream or something. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm very basic, me. I could have said sausage, chips, and beans. You know what I mean? It's still really gorgeous.
Well, why not?
That's what you like.
No,
but I must admit, I do love roast spurs, Yorkshire pudding,
it's your
gravy,
choice.
All of that sort of stuff.
And what dessert would you have then?
Like I said, I'll probably have a chocolate sponge with ice cream or something.
Yeah. So I would have fish and chips. And as a dessert,
fish and chips.
Yeah, I just love fish and chips. Nothing else, just fish and chips on their own. And as a dessert,
it's death row, man. Tell them to go out and get a Bernie in.
No, thank you. I'd rather have fish and chips.
Spend 25 quid on me, you cheapskate bastards.
No,
I don't want a McDonald's.
Yeah, you're trying to make us spend one. And
I don't want a McDonald's.
No, I don't.
I don't want do you know what I'd say?
I want proper fish and chips.
I'd say, can I have an authenticated Italian pizza, please, from Napoli? And can you go over there and can you go over there and get it and bring it back?
Yeah.
It might take you about 5 days, but then by then I'd have buried myself out of this prison.
I know. As a dessert, I would have strawberries and ice cream. Yeah, that would be my dessert if I could have.
Oh, wouldn't you like one of those? What do they call it? Ice cream mess. Where you have meringue and ice cream with raspberries in it.
No, I like strawberries and I like ice cream. So combine them both together, you're onto a winner.
Oh, do you want Viennetta?
Viennetta
or Arctic roll?
Oh, Arctic rolls. I forgot about them. Yeah, but I don't know whether I'd have it as my last. I don't know as my last. Yeah, I do like Arctic rolls. It's terrible, isn't it? Yeah.
After we couldn't get Arctic roll anymore, they brought out this Viennetta, which was these wafers of little thin chocolate strips with mint ice cream. Do you remember it? It cut it up like a cake.
Oh no.
Arctic roll was cheap, wasn't it? It was like a jam roll with Polly with an ice cream middle.
Cheap and cheerful. That's what it was.
It's the only cake I know where you had to get a bloody sharp knife and cut it because it was frozen in the center. It's like,
oh yeah, proper sponge cream cakes.
You needed a Black and Decker when you got it out the freezer to actually cut a piece off of it. Blowtorch.
And Jim says, Dale, you're right. Family is the most important thing. I was made redundant twice in 13 months, 9 to 10 hours days. But I've now been in a job for 2 years, 36 hours a week, 10 minutes walk away from home. You can't beat that.
Yeah.
Good hours. You don't have to spend any money. Get in there. You can walk there 10 minutes. That's the best job you can have. Brilliant. Glad you've got that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
like I said, I made that mistake too often, and I mean, just think of all the time I could have had with my dad.
Yeah, yeah. There's some things more important there, really. I was thinking as well, because when I was working, I had to go over to Leicester every day and on train. And okay, train didn't take long. It took about 15 minutes or less. Um, but you become, traveling over there and just every day, it sort of hypnotizes you, just this traveling. You can see why commuters, they don't talk much or they don't
Yeah.
say much.
That's fast for steam trains in Leeds,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah, yeah.
15 minutes. I mean, Christ.
Well, actually, you can get a steam train from Great Central Railway over to Leicester North. They're trying to extend the line further into Leicester. So that is a possibility. Well, it's not a possibility. It's going to happen. There is a steam railway right there, Great Central Railway. So, Ian and Dale, what do you think of Sean Connery movies? Outland. Outland, brilliant. It's one of my all-time favorite films. That Zardov, well,
What, Sean Connery in a nappy?
it's. I'll use the word interesting. I'm being polite.
Yeah. I mean, that's one way of looking at it. Yeah.
It's interesting.
That's what they call it, isn't it? Sean Connery in a nappy, isn't it? But we have talked about Outland a lot. I mean, we talked about it last week.
I love Outland. Anybody who hasn't got it, it's on the premium collection.
It's high noon in space.
It's superb. I've seen it loads of times. I saw it at the cinema, and then I've seen it years afterwards, and then I bought it, and it's just a great.
Hang on a minute. Outland. Now, am I right in thinking that that's a Jerry Goldsmith score?
Oh,
yes,
no.
It is, isn't it?
No.
It's a Jerry Goldsmith score.
God. Well, yeah. What can I say? It's another excuse. Another excuse. But it is such a good film. So what can I say? But the other one, to be fair, I've not actually seen Zardos. I've only seen clips and people talking about it. It's not the kind of film that you've wanted to rush out and watch.
When you see Sean Connery, who's hairy, right? Apart from the stuff on his head, right? coming out of a big sort of like head with glowy eyes.
Oh dear!
Right, wearing a nappy. You know that you've seen a film. It's
an image.
You've seen a unique film.
Yeah, that's a good word. I like that word, unique. Unique.
You've definitely seen a unique film when you see that.
Very polite way of putting it. Yeah.
Yeah, weird.
I like it. But it's not something I'm sort of rushing to see, I just, I bet, mind you, if perhaps I'd switched on the TV and some channel was showing it, I might sit and watch it and just think,
I reckon I saw that film and Barbarella pretty close together.
Right, yeah.
They don't complement each other very well. But what I'm saying is, I do remember that I saw that, and it wasn't that much later that I saw Barbarella. And they were both science fiction-y type films with...
Yeah. I found Barbarella very strange because, you can't help but love looking at Jane Fonda. But to be honest, in places, I got rather bored with it. I just...
oh, yeah. I mean, once you get over
it... but gets boring in places.
Once you get over... I mean, actually, I don't know. A lot of people say you can watch the first 45 minutes and then it gets boring. And other people say it takes 45 minutes before it gets interesting. Right? Because the first 45 minutes is just taking her clothes off a lot and going to bed with people. Yeah, the last 45 minutes is trippy nonsense with angels that are blind and people walking around weird mazes and things.
Oh yeah, exactly. And by then your probably eyes are trying to
and then
keep
by
them
that
open.
point, your eyes have been sheared out.
Yeah, they have. It's true. I admit it. I bought it. I put it on. I thought, oh, this is really good. And then suddenly, oh, it's finished. I'd fallen asleep. It's one of those that if you're really tired,
I
you're
mean,
gonna just sleep.
it is her husband that filmed it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was sort of like very early on in their romance, I suppose. Really,
Yeah.
what is it, 1968 or something?
Something like that. Yeah.
And she'd moved from America over there. Everybody thought that she was going to be married to Steve McQueen,
Yeah.
didn't they? Because she'd started in a film with Steve McQueen. But I tell you what, the best film I've seen, one of the best films I've ever seen of Jane Fonda is Clute.
Yes, it
I
is.
love the film Clute.
Donald Sutherland. Donald
Sutherland
never
makes
go
that
wrong
film,
with
but
him.
I think Jane Fonda really does add to that film. Donald Sutherland is exceptional in that film.
Yeah.
But it's one of those weird things, Clute, because Clute can sometimes be considered to be highbrow, boring crap.
Yeah. No.
Because nothing really goes on.
No.
He's recording her as a prostitute. She does nothing about it and goes to psychiatrists and things.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not exactly like riveting.
It's that period again, that time when they were making those kind of films.
There's something about Clue. I can put that on and go, do you know what? I'm mesmerized.
Yeah.
I like this. Film's good.
Yeah. The problem is, people, any other of her films, don't get mentioned, or people just forget about the other films. The Vietnam one, she's in one of Vietnam films. Is it Coming Home or something like that?
Yeah, that's where she's. He's paralyzed, isn't it? His legs, his wheelchair.
Yeah. There's some good films there, definitely. All right.
It took her a long time, didn't it, for her to do On Golden Pond with her dad?
Oh yeah, and I think people were so pleased they did that film for a lot of reasons, because it was like they knew they'd never be able to do it. It was dying.
I mean, I don't know what to believe when it comes to Henry Fonda a little bit, really, because
I've heard all sorts of stories about him.
I mean, apparently she found out that most of the women that he went out with that killed themselves or something, and they committed suicide or something, weren't they? Is that right?
I've heard. I don't know. I've never verified
the first two wives. I think one of them went to an asylum and she killed herself inside an asylum. That was Jane Fonda's mum, I think.
Yeah, he was a serial person who just went from woman to woman. He had a lot of affairs, apparently.
Muckman's just turned around and mentioned one of my films, China Syndrome. But I like China Syndrome for Jack Lemmon.
Yeah.
She is a good actress in China Syndrome.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that Michael Douglas again funded some of that film. I think he was producer and he actually put the money up for that film. But again, it's Jack Lemmon and that sort of like innocence that he sort of got. He's a bit like Quincy. He's like watching Quincy.
Yeah.
Do you remember watching Quincy?
I'm not watched a lot of Quincy. I do remember
the TV series Quincy.
Yeah.
Quincy used to drive me nuts. Right? Because he does all these autopsies, right?
Yeah.
And he doesn't, right?
Yeah.
He does one autopsy at the beginning, right?
And he's off.
Then he gets every sod to do every boring job on the blood work and everything, while he's swimming about in a car and going off to Danny's to have a drink or something.
And taking all the credit for everything.
Right? I'd like to have a personal slave like that does all my work while I swan off trying to work it all out. And he's got enough money to buy a yacht. Oh, what a bastard. Sam Fujiyama, his name was. Poor sod, he was from Vietnam. I think he was Vietnamese as well. Talk about having a slave. Personal slave from another country doing it. And that lasted about eight seasons of that. 8 seasons of personal slave ship.
Yeah. What about Dick Van Dyke? Dick Van Dyke did a similar kind of thing, didn't he? He did this, like, he was a doctor who happened to be a detective or something as well. You know, in between operations.
Oh, Diagnosis Murder. Diagnosis Murder, yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
But can you imagine it, right? Yeah. You know, you're doing this autopsy. He goes, "Yeah, Sam, look. There's a perforated, like, heart thing going on here. Look, right? You sew him up, right? I'm just going to scrub up, right? Then I'm going to go into my office. So you sew him up, put him on the slab, do all the paperwork for me, right? Then come into my office and I'll give you a load of other shit that you got to get done. So I swan off, right? And have a nice meal round Danny's, right? And then I'm going to solve the crime. And then when I come back, we're going to do it all again next week. We're going to do this every week. Because you're going to do you're going to work till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning doing all the blood work. So that when I come in the morning and have a cup of coffee, right? I'm going to come in. The first thing I'm going to do is have a cup of coffee. I'm going to ask you, have you got the blood work? I'm going to read the blood work results. And then I'm going to swan off again. He's going to piss off out of this building. And I'm just going to do it. While you're going to be doing some other microscopic bloody paperwork detail.
Yeah.
Right? So
that then take all the credit. He'll take all the credit for it then.
Yeah.
He solved it all. Yeah.
And everybody goes up and says, "Well done, Quince, for solving the crime."
He didn't do that.
I just want to thank my friend Sam. No, that never happens, does it? No. Sam had to work all weekend. Poor soul.
What you say?
I reckon he was on minimum wage. I do.
I think what you said is spot on. It's true. We're not just exaggerating it. It's true.
I reckon Sam was on minimum wage. He was on an exchange program with somebody else.
Oh dear. Right. Sai says apparently Sue Storm is the leader of the Fantastic Four instead of Reed Richards in the new film.
Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. But the one thing that you have to understand about it is an alternative reality. It's a totally different take on the Fantastic Four. And the one thing that you're going to learn about the whole of this film is that it's all about Franklin Richards. Franklin Richards is the baby of Reed and Sue. And he is the most powerful mutant in the Marvel universe. He can create worlds. He creates alternative universes. That's how strong he is. And it's all about Franklin Richards. It doesn't matter about whether Sue Storm is the male, is the one who wears the trousers in this, because it's the first film and that universe is going to get blown up. We know this. The space rocket that you see is going to get blown up. And it's going to go, and they'll end up on our universe. And then it's just like the comics.
Oh, right.
There you are.
Brilliant. Tony says, chicken dinner with all the trimmings followed by chocolate sponge.
There you are.
Custard. There you are.
All round to Tony's.
I know something I like, which my mum used to make, was beef stew and dumplings. She was brilliant at making dumplings in the beef stew. Oh, absolutely loved it.
For all those watching in America, they're called biscuits over there. We do understand they're called biscuits.
Yeah, but it's wrong. You're wrong.
You're wrong. We do not put digestive biscuits in stew.
You don't. You can't.
Right? We
would be stupid.
In coffee, right? You put biscuits, right, in a stew, and you are wrong. Can you just imagine that? I'm gonna. What are you having tonight? I'm having stew with club biscuits. I ain't really.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
Rather you than me.
Totally agree with you. Daft.
Biscuits. My ass.
I know. Daft as brushes. I don't know. And he says, "Yum, yeah, you know, do you? Yeah." It says, "Only seen Zardoz once on TV many years ago. Seemed to have been very strange." That's a polite
That's
way of putting it.
that's underplaying it.
Slightly. Jim says, "Yeah, Reed, the Thing, and Johnny are sidelined, and Sue and the other lady superheroes save the day, apparently."
I don't know what the other lady superheroes mean. If you mean the Silver Surfer goes against Galactus, then that's just like the comic book. But Silver Surfer was a bloke in that.
Yeah. Si says, "For the love of God, yeah." Far and Away. Oh,
that's the film Far and Away that we were talking about.
With what's the name in it? Yeah. They first met on Days of Thunder. Yes. Yeah.
A Tony Scott film, Ridley Scott's brother.
Oh no, the people know what I love, don't they? This is my nightmare. Ian, I know you love Ken Dodd. Do you think he should have been in movies? He would have been great in horror movies. Would be great as Dr. Fives. That is a nightmare. Please, no.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine Ken Dodd with a mini Dr. Fives as a puppet?
It's Diddy Man.
It's Diddy Man.
Oh no, not Ken Dodd. What a nightmare. The best, I always say it, don't I? I always say it. The best thing is when he appeared in Doctor Who and he got killed
off. Jove, get my tickling stick out. By Jove.
No, kill the bug. Get rid of the bugger. And those blooming Diddy men. You know why he can stick his tickling stick? Somebody else has mentioned it. I know I've talked about it before. Ken Dodd was in Doctor Who.
He was very rude. He was very rude.
I like to get rid of bugger.
My friend told me one joke he said in a very late sort of like evening thing. He said something like, "What a jive day! What a jive day for sticking a marrow through the vicar's letterbox and saying the aliens are coming." Thinking, that because that's an alien's penis. You see?
Yes, yeah. Oh dear.
I'm going, bloody hell, that is a bit risky.
It's a bit risky.
Stick a marrow through the
through
the vicar's letterbox and say the aliens are coming.
He always used to pride himself on not being like that, but I think he probably was. And what made my mum and dad used to love him. They used to go and see him live. I mean, they'd go to Blackpool and see Ken Dodd. And the worst thing was, they couldn't get him off the stage. Apparently, he was on there for about 3 bloody hours. Him just going on and on.
I think my nan liked his singing.
Oh yeah, they did. They had some of his records.
It wasn't Happiness. It was the other one, that Tears or whatever it's called.
Oh yeah, I know. Oh dear, no, thank you. Yeah,
I think it's the one that went to #1 and stayed there for about 65 weeks.
The buggers sang, didn't they, or attempted to? And they'll say, "Hey, he's not only is he comedian and funny, he sings." Yes, unfortunately,
isn't there a documentary that said he was bigger than the Beatles? He met the Beatles and he said, one of these days you'll be as big as me or something. He went up to them. Which is quite funny and ironic at the time.
It's isn't it, with his tickling stick. Oh dear me. Oh yeah.
We are eccentric in the Britain, I have to say.
Yeah. I think he was a bit weird, just a bit weird in real life as well. There's something behind that persona, I think. I don't know what it is. I know he had problems, didn't he? He didn't like paying tax. He never liked paying tax, did he?
He's a northerner, isn't he? He's a northerner.
Oh, not paying tax.
Bloody frivolous, isn't it? He must have worn that bloody coat for about 35 years. It must have
they're
popped.
horrible.
It must have ponged. But you see, he's a northerner, so of course, he probably didn't get it dry clean.
No, it's the other Liverpudlian side. It's not a. Thank God he wasn't a Yorkshireman. Thank God, yeah. Right. Saw Sir Ken Dodd live. Oh, so 8 or 9 times Steve's getting back to him. Never went home before 1 a.m. and always spent days afterwards still laughing. A real legend and the last of his kind. Well, I'm glad you enjoy him. Steve's gaming back.
No, but I mean that really is quite good though. Think about it for a minute. You go there, right? You're going to go and see something. You're intending to be there for about 2.5 hours.
Yeah, and he carried on.
You come away and you had 3 or 4 hours and you didn't pay anything extra for it. He just did it for the love of it.
Yeah,
keep the lights on.
To be fair to him, he obviously must have loved performing because you wouldn't do it that way.
That's a good trait to have. I do feel sorry for the person who operates the curtains.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I want to go home for my tea, you bastard.
No. Oh dear. Oh, listen to this. Delta and the Bannerman is better than today's Doctor Who. Tony Doddy was also in Alice in Wonderland movie with Gene Wilder.
He was, yeah.
Oh, well, that's it. Yeah, I would agree. Delta and the Bannerman is better.
You know what? I'll tell you a film I haven't seen in a long time. Now you've mentioned Gene Wilder. I want to see The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes' smarter younger brother.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I haven't seen that in years. But anyway, Delta and the Bannerman is better than today's Doctor Who. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
And I'll tell you what, and that's a shocking one.
Yeah, it is, but it is. But that's how bad Doctor Who is now. Oh dear. The thing about these boutique labels is generally, but not always, they choose films that are worthy to be in a collection. That's why they've never chosen a Marvel film.
You know what? I know he's joking there, but actually the real reason is because they're under license with Disney. Nothing to do with that. Yeah, it's a joke. 25 years time, when Disney say sod off Marvel, you'll probably see them all under Arrow, and you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, Arrow special editions of Ant-Man. Oh, no, actually, the first Ant-Man film I don't mind. It just got worse.
I'll be buying the Spider-Man ones again.
Oh, you will, yeah, I know. They can release any old Spider-Man film, and you're there, yeah.
Well, I'll bloody watch the 1977 shit with the Sound of Music man, Nicholas Hammond, or whatever his name
is. Si says, I once sat front row as an 8-year-old at a Ken Dodd gig. He constantly took the piss out of my mum and auntie. They were gigglers and wouldn't stop. See, he kept on going at them. Absolutely hilarious. Well, you've had a good experience of it. Yeah. There you are. You can't argue with that, you know. I think any classic episode of art is better than today's, David. It's down with Gene Wilder. I totally agree, Tony. I mean, what can you say? Classic Who is always the best, you know. Cyrus, Tony, anything classic is pretty much better than now. Yeah, I mean, I'm at the moment plug doing Colin Baker, and I'm enjoying Colin Baker. I never thought I'd end up saying that. That's how low modern Doctor Who has become. I'm thinking, well, actually, Colin Baker ain't as bad as I thought. Apart from Twin Dilemma, still wasn't that good.
That season before the Trial of the Time Lord and obviously the episode after Twin Dilemma, that whole season there is actually pretty good. Yeah, it's violent. It's incredibly violent.
Yes, that's what I like about it. Yeah. And the Cyberman episode that's one I just reviewed. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I loved it. Yeah.
I remember watching the Cyberman story because it was like the TARDIS actually kept changing itself. It turned into a pipe
That's
organ.
right. It did. It did. Yeah, it did. We saw it in.
And all I remember about the story being was it was about Liston, wasn't it? That security guard who was in Resurrection of the Daleks, I think. And the other thing is that Perry kept running up and down with a tight top on, and she.
I know. I was going to say
she kept going up and down Potter's Lane, going up and down, and all I kept seeing was Perry. All I kept seeing was Perry's top going
yeah, I definitely thought it's definitely improved a lot with Perry in it. It's absolutely brilliant, despite Colin Baker. I think he did become a little bit more likable, but it took a lot. It was such a shock how bad he was that, in the end, you could get to like him a bit, but it took a while.
I didn't get on with Alexei Sayle, but I thought it was an interesting premise that the Doctor was wearing purple in in that.
Yeah,
episode.
I've got to. That's coming up.
The other thing about it is he lands and he sees his own gravestone. How disjointing is that? You say, what? This is where they lay me down to rest, is it?
Yeah.
Know that. I wonder what happened. And it's my face as well.
Yeah. It's quite mad. Wow. It's mad. It is, really.
What I'm trying to say is that's an interesting story. It starts off with an interesting premise, because the other thing is, if it's showing his face, then he doesn't regenerate anymore. So what takes away his ability to regenerate if it's going to be his face that's finally on this gravestone? It's like, it makes you think. You're going, oh,
yeah. Wow. Also, I think they probably didn't explore it enough, but we always think, because the Doctor is the good guy, but sometimes it's good to see him being selfish and also not always making mistakes, doing things wrong.
I'm gonna let you read out some comments because I've got to shut the front door. I forgot without waking my mum.
Okay, I'll carry on. I'll read the next one. Oh, we've got here. Delboy, you did really well on Manic Miner. I was surprised for how far you got. There you are. You got a comment about the game.
Yeah, I'll just turn around and say thank you very much. Right. I made a cock up through the whole of that video because I got the classical piece of music wrong. It's the Blue Danube. It's Eugene Evans, not all sorts of stuff, right? But it's because I haven't done that sort of video for a while and my brain was muddled. But tomorrow I am recording, by the way, just as to everybody, I am recording Muckman Movie's choice of a game that he wants me to play. Fantastic. So in the next couple of days, I have no idea what this game is. I still do not know what it is. I only know the title of it. I am quite excited by it. I have no idea. Just the title, that's all I know. And with that, that's something for you guys to look forward to, I hope. And I'll be back.
Tony says to you, Blood Orange is a smaller set, Del. It's on the official Hammer website. So that must be a new release that's coming out. He says, I think it's due in August. Right. Muckman Movies. Oh, your dream team Star Trek crew. You can choose one specialist from any version of Star Trek, i.e. Captain, Doctor, Pilot, etc., etc. Right. Mine. I know it'll be Captain Kirk with Delboy, but for me, I've got to have Spock as the science officer. Always Spock. The Doctor, I would have Dr. Crusher. As much as I love McCoy, I'm a big fan of Dr. Crusher. Let's see, who else would we have? The pilot. Yeah, I think. I think Sulu. I think I like Sulu a lot. I'm trying to think of the others. Yeah, I've noticed I haven't put any Voyager or Deep Space Nine down yet. Though, no, I like Sulu. I like Sulu. Doctor, First Officer.
Hey, hang on. I've still got to go to the door, but it's just I saw this and I thought, do you know what? Do you know what comes to mind? Can you imagine, right? Captain Kirk, right, with Worf, right, on the bridge.
Yeah.
Right now, can you imagine Captain Kirk with Worf and he says, "You Klingon bastard, you killed my son, you bastard! Now can you fire those torpedoes at that guy over there?" Can you imagine that? Would that be hilarious?
That would be. It would. I agree. It would be gold.
I'll be back in a minute.
Absolutely. I said as captain. I always say Picard, but I think Cisco's interesting as well. I think I'll still probably pick Picard. Dr. Crusher, pilot, Sulu. Let's see who else would. Engineer, Geordie or Scotty. I'd have to go Scotty. I do like Geordie, even though you see initially Geordie wasn't the engineer; he was on the bridge, if you remember. He got moved, I think, in the second series. I liked him as an engineer, but you can't help but love Scotty, can you? Yeah. And of course, nurses. There's only one Nurse Chapel, of course. Who else have we got? Let's see. Security, I suppose, is Worf. You can't beat having Worf as security. And say Spock as science officer. I think that's the major ones. Yeah, security, because I like Tasha Yar a lot. She wasn't in it that much, but I'd still put Worf as security. Yeah, Tasha Yar was a good character. Pity she got bumped. She decided she wanted to leave. She left the series, but came back as a Romulan. Is that all the crew I've gone through the major positions? Number one, I still like Riker. I would choose Riker. Definitely. You can't beat a bit of Riker, can you? Yeah, excellent. I know if you notice, I'm big for Next Generation, and the original series and Next Generation. Star Trek at its best. Though I do like Deep Space Nine a lot. Can't argue with them. Have I done all the major ones? Yeah, I think I've done all the specialists. Yeah, doctor, nurses. Engineers. Yeah, I would say I've done them. They're my favourite ones. Just thinking. No, I don't. I can't think of any more. I'm sure that's it. I'm sure Delboy will have his when he returns. It'll be interesting to see. I know he'll pick Kirk, but here he is. Yeah, right. Hello. Do you want to answer it? I've answered mine of the Star Trek
Well, we ain't got a lot of time,
Especially.
but I'll tell you what. When I went away and I talked about Worf and Kirk, I was just thinking, well, you got to have Kirk, ain't you? But I'll tell you what, I like all the women in stuff. Can you imagine it? With Kirk with all these women around him, right? I'll have 7 as 9. I'll call you Monday. I'll have Denise Crosby. I'll call you Tuesday.
Yeah.
I'll have I'll have Kathy McFadden. You'll be Wednesday. I'll have a ESP woman. You can be Thursday. And I'll have that woman that's got a trill in her, but you got to remove the trill before I have you, and you can be Friday. Because I ain't having anybody but me and you in bed. I ain't having a trill as well. Oh, bloody hell. That's a weird threesome.
I don't think you'd have Dr. Crusher. I think she wouldn't put up with him. I don't think she would. she likes Picard too much. She likes Picard.
Well, you can imagine it, can't you, really? I mean, he wouldn't call her Bones, would he? Bones with bumps.
Yeah, she'd be... I think she'd think he was too smooth, trying to be smarmy and Kirk. I don't think she'd fall for his charm. Definitely not.
No, she likes bold people. Well, no,
she likes and bold-headed people.
William Shatner's bold, isn't he? So.
Isn't yeah, so that's answer to our question, and Delboy's answered it. Fantastic.
Yeah, sorry, mine would be like the Benny Hill show with Kurt, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So has anyone ever accidentally ordered the wrong size pizza from the pizza shop? Well, I've just had an 18-inch Inferno, what a name, Inferno pizza. I honestly thought that I'd selected 12-inch. Well, I'll be eating pizza for days. And I'll tell you something, Si. I bet that cost quite a lot. Bloody hell, an 18 one. They're charging up for a 14 one.
I haven't ordered a pizza in ages, right? But I'll tell you what, they're rip-offs, right?
Yeah.
All I can tell you is they make you want to buy 2 pizzas, right? Because you look at it and it goes, one pizza, right, is like 18 quid. But if you buy 2, you can have a special deal with a starter and a drink or something, and it will cost you 25 quid. But you got to have 2 pizzas, right? And if you order 2 pizzas, that's bigger than 18 inches, right? That'd be 24 inches altogether, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Right?
You won't be able to eat that.
And it was exactly like that. And by the time that you've eaten half the pizza, it's cold the other half. So if you've got 2 pizzas, you've got a 1.5 pizzas that are freezing.
Yeah.
I always find pizzas really weird because that always happened to me. I was always looking forward to pizza night.
Yeah.
But always got cold by the end. And if I was to eat it quickly, I'm full up and feel sick. Because it's like, I can't move now.
But do you remember?
I don't want to put the other half in a microwave to eat it up. I've got to have it warm. The funny thing is, it says on the box, careful, the contents of this box is hot. Is it my ass? Have you ever seen the drivers deliver the pizzas around here? They're fucking freezing cold by the time you get it into your bloody house. It took you 25 minutes. I said I could walk there and back faster than you. Me to order that pizza.
Oh dear! But do you remember before COVID, they were trying to force you to have them. They were giving them away. You'd buy one, you'd get one free, and all that. And now, you can't do that now.
They don't make COVID pizza anymore, do they?
Yeah. COVID pizzas.
Can I have a New Yorker, please, with COVID?
Yeah, a COVID pizza
with COVID infection all over.
Yeah. I wonder if Emma will release on the buses in 4K. That's a good point. Will they? I wonder.
They've honestly in Australia, they've only just released the Blu-rays. I've got them. I bought them the on the buses in Blu-ray, and it's a gorgeous set. It's a gorgeous set.
Do you think they will in this country release?
I'll tell you what, if they take any longer bringing out the bloody carry-ons in Blu-ray, by the time we get to 4K, we'll be up to 12K bloody picture.
Which would be a waste of time.
Christ. I just want you to bring out the Steelbook set in 4K. Carry on, and then I'll be finished with it. Thank you so much. But by the time you get to that point, I'll be it may well be in 4K bloody picture quality, but my eyesight will be so bad I might as well be looking at it from on a telly.
Yeah.
And my eyesight will be gone.
Yeah. I'm laughing there. Inferno sounds deadly, Si. All right. And I enjoyed the sequel of Devil Girl from Mars. More Devil Girl from Uranus. Yes.
Uranus.
Yeah. Tony, it has a chill bass with it.
Without jalapenos.
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 Dear. Right. Star Trek captain has to be Kirk for me. Communications. Uhura. Oh yeah, I forgot her. I would have chosen Uhura straight off. Second in command. The Vulcan lady from Enterprise. Yes, she's beautiful. A security Worf. Engineer Scotty. Pilot Data. Oh, I forgot about Data. Science Spock. I'd say that's a good selection. Yeah, excellent.
Where's 7 of 9 in that?
Oh, well, yeah, put 7 of 9 in. There you are. Right.
Fair enough.
Stop ranting and get on eBay and buy it, you bastard.
I think he's talking to me on that, and
yeah, I think he was. Yeah. So, did any of you see the latest trailer for Weapons? It looks really creepy. From the director of Barbarian. What a film! That should be get a proper release now, which came out a couple of years ago. Very interested in seeing it. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to rush through these. It's 20 to 12.
Is it right? Yeah, Weapons looks good. Nice Tony with regard Star Trek crew. Star Trek T'Pol. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Starship Troopers 3. Best thing about it. Oh yeah. The Lodger, a story of the London fog from 1927, is the hit film based on a serial killer in London.
Didn't we turn around and say it would be a silent one?
Yeah, 1927. So that's somewhat good to remember. I'd include Dax from Deep Space Nine. No idea what her role was, though. Anyone know? Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, she was secure. No, she was.
Oh, do you know? I don't know what she was. She wants security.
She was on Deep Space Nine. It wasn't. It wasn't. The one with the earring. What's her name? I think she was. Oh Christ! Wasn't she science? Wasn't she to do with science?
Yeah, I think she must have been science. Yeah, because yes,
she had a blue. She had a blue.
Yeah, she had to be science. There wasn't anybody else, was there? Science. Yeah.
I mean, that stupid bloody captain kept calling her bloody old man because she was a bloke.
Yeah, she'd been a trill. She was a trill, wasn't she? Yeah.
I just turned around and said, "Are you blind, you bastard? Look,
yeah, it's amazing.
That's a woman in front of you. That ain't an old man. I can tell you that. What the hell are you on about?
You want some glasses?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're thinking in your eyes looking at it.
Yeah. Years since I saw Deep Space Nine, I must have the VHF. Think she was science. Yeah. Yeah. It's a great series, Deep Space Nine. Yeah, just Googled it. She was science officer.
Yeah, she was like Spock, wasn't she?
Yeah. Jim says, night, folks. Early night for me. See you next week. Thank you, Jim, for joining us. Even though you've
brilliant, Jim. Thanks very much. And sorry for all the swearing.
Yeah. And he says, night, Jim. And then night, Jim Bob. I think my final meal would be a Sunday lunch with all the trimmings, followed by warm Yorkshire curd type with curd tart with custard. Nice.
See, he ruined it then with that Yorkshire. What's that shit? Right, the roast dinner was all right. What's this bloody
curd tart, lad? You don't know. He says he's got Clue on Criterion.
I've got Clue on
Yeah.
Criterion.
My favourite Jane Fonda film is The China Syndrome, like you're saying.
Yeah.
My final meal would be mince and dumplings, always mashed potato and veg with apple crumble and custard. Yeah, I'm not sure about apple crumble. Yeah, apple crumble.
So on one side of the plate you got mince and dumplings with mashed potato, and then on top of that you got apple crumble and custard on the same plate.
No.
What the hell's all that about?
Yeah,
you mean two separate things? Sorry.
Actually, that's what I remember having school dinners and quickly putting a stop to that. Oh, they were like that. They just go splatter, splatter, and it all went together. And you'd get your gravy and your apple crumble and
but I tell you what, that was when you used to experiment and go, I wonder what it'd be like if I mashed the mince with my mashed potato and put it in. Oh, look at that. It's gorgeous. Look at that sloppy mess. It tastes gorgeous. Look at that.
Do you remember when you used to build things with mashed potato and put the gravy and the peas in various places, and you could do all sorts?
No, that's you sad bastard.
Yeah.
Nobody did that other than you. What are you trying to reenact Close Encounters of the
Yeah, that's a good idea. I could do that.
What are you trying to do?
Yeah. Sam was the true hero in Quincy.
He was.
Sam is the true hero. I tell you, I enjoyed Jane Fonda in Barefoot in the Park. Just seen it on TV. A comedy about moving into a rundown apartment. Also, Old Gringo with Gregory Peck, set during the 1910 Mexican Revolution. That sounds good. Can you remember The Morning After with Jane Fonda? I remember watching it back in the 80s. Dumplings, apple crumble. God, we're getting people hungry. Justice for Sam. Yeah, hashtag that one. Is Cat Blue any good? Jane Fonda is in that.
What's that, Justice for Sam?
Sam
Fujiyama.
Thingy. Yeah, Cat Ballou gone years ago. I can't even remember that much. Jane Fonda and Lee Marvin. A long time ago, I watched that. Can't remember. Never seen it, Jamie. I know that Clint Eastwood is in Cat Ballou.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, yeah. Is that Paint Your Wagon sign? Oh, that Lee Marvin song. Oh, God, that was Wandering Star.
Oh, I was born under a wandering
star. Yeah, it was great. Oh, yeah. Great singer, wasn't it? Jimmy Carr is a taxi evader and he was born in London. Oh, there we are.
Yeah, but he's only following suit from you Northerners.
Not seen either side. Knew the singing was supposed to be bad in Paint Your Wagon. Singing, I think that's a polite word. Yeah, telling my mum always had a rant about Lee Marvin singing.
To be fair, Clint Eastwood did try to sing. Lee Marvin just spoke.
Yeah. Yes. With regard to Star Trek Dream Team, communication officer got a navigator to choose Ian. Eh?
In other words, you haven't mentioned a communication officer and you haven't mentioned a navigator.
Oh, no. Oh, wow. I say
to that, stop being picky, you bastard. Go to bed. It's nearly 12 o'clock.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, I'm getting on. So otherwise, I'll be in trouble. I forgot to say about F1, Ian, you'll like the opening. It's Led Zeppelin's A Lot of Love paired with a motor race, and it's awesome. Yeah, I like that. I like the sound of that. Yeah, the music sounds
well, that's just ruined it for me.
Yeah.
I want the full. What's this Led Zeppelin shit? Can't you have Elton John or something at the beginning? What's that got about doing?
What can you say about him? You know, dear me, uneducated. Totally. The pizza cost me £18.50. What? £18.
No, that's how much. Honestly, that's how much you see. Unless you buy two of them and have a starter and something for 25 quid, it's £18.50.
What about delivery? I hope they gave you free delivery on that. I mean, if it did, you'd be 20 quid or more, wouldn't you?
all round to size. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. 99 guys, great movie chat as always. Thank you, Si.
Si, thank you so much. And of course,
yeah.
I'm going to mention you to my mum because
Yeah.
she loves you.
And then good night, all. Good fun. Thank you, Tony, as ever, for joining us. Muckman Movies. Yeah. Good night, all. And see you in 2 weeks.
And I just want to say thank you so much for making such an enjoyable evening for me. It's been an absolute pleasure. I know I get some of my stuff right in my head. I know what I'm talking about, and in the end, I get there. But I'm starting to think that I'm getting dementia. That or my brain's just not firing on all thrusters. If you know what I mean, from Star Trek. You want to talk about Star Trek?
To be honest, at this time,
I think what makes it for me, right, is first Ian and second all of you guys. For me, that's what it is. You know, every single. If you weren't here each week, I tell you, I don't know what I'd be like. It'd be an absolute horrible Wednesday for me.
Oh, yeah.
No, I hate to think about it.
It's a great escape. It is. This is a great escape.
Nah, Steve McQueen.
Yeah, but it's like all those films that I'd never heard of. That Indian one. I'd never heard of that Indian one.
Oh, the Indian Runner.
Well, I noticed I'd forgotten it already.
Oh, the fastest Indian.
The fastest. What a great title! I love that title, fastest.
Indian. We're both when we get off of here. We've got a. Well, first of all, he told me it was World of Books, I think. And then he said it was on eBay. I don't know which one to go to now. He's a miserable bastard. He said it was £3 something, right?
He didn't say if it was
DVD or Blu-ray. First off, it was an eBay. I know he didn't say it was eBay. He said it was like flipping World of Books or something, right? Then he said it's on eBay. I don't know where I'm supposed to be looking now.
Right. So, thank you, everybody. Thank you most of all, Delboy, for being here and having an enjoyable time with you. Fantastic. And everybody who's contributed, whether you're just watching or whether you put comments down, thank you, everyone. I really appreciate every week we do this and we love it. We won't change a thing. No. Thank you so much. And so I'll let Delboy say his farewell.
Oh, yeah, it's because it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
Good night. Yeah. But I always do my Frankie Howard salute.
And all I've got to say is, I'll see thee again. It's going.